I really feel like Daniel did. That's the first game he'd start on varsity. Obviously, he'd been out and played off and on last year, but I felt like he did a good job commanding the offense, which doesn't surprise me. He's been in it for a long time, and I felt like we had several guys do a good job, but I really felt like our offensive line did a good job also.
Yeah. Played two backs in this game with Grady Gebhardt and also Nathan Friesen getting carries. And just, it felt like there was just kind of some spots where everything just seemed new at times. And I know that's tough when you lose so many seniors like you did from a year ago. How do you think your younger guys and the guys that are getting varsity experience now came out and played?
I thought they did a good job. I thought, again, I think especially on defense, I really felt like we did a good job playing as a unit. And when you have some guys that have varsity experience and some guys that don't have so much, you always kind of question whether they'll do that or not. Yeah. And, I really feel like those guys played well as a team, well as a unit. And then on the offensive side, we had some guys that are juniors and seniors even that didn't play a lot of varsity downs. But I felt like, especially as the game progressed through, they were communicating better and doing a better job working together.
On the defensive side of the ball up front, Josiah Monday seemed to pick up where he left off last year. He had an outstanding game. Also, Brody Chambers was in the backfield quite a bit. He was disruptive up front. But you replaced a good portion of your linebackers and defensive backs. You talked about two new corners, a new safety. How do you think your secondary played on the defensive side?
And especially, we knew we were going to be tested with Rock Creek and the way they throw the football. And, I felt like for guys that haven't played a lot of varsity, those guys really did a nice job of getting where they were supposed to be and then tackling. Even if they made a catch or whatever, we did a pretty good job of tackling. When we were at the Jamboree earlier in the year, I didn't feel like we tackled real well, but I thought we did a better job there against Rock Creek.
You talked about the two quarterbacks, and I felt like you were prepared for that. You thought that may happen. The two quarterbacks that Rock Creek had, they weren't really similar. They were two different kind of guys to prepare for, and they kept switching back and forth. What kind of adjustments were you having to make while that was going on?
And they are quite a bit different. Their offense is a lot the same, and we got to look at their run game and their pass game, whatever, and we obviously knew that when the sophomore kid was in there, they're probably going to throw a little bit more. But as far as adjustments, not huge things as far as making adjustments, just making sure we're fundamentally sound and we're getting to where we need to be, and again, tackling when we get there.
Your thoughts on special teams week one?
I think we did a pretty good job. I felt like all in all, we did a pretty good job. I thought our punt game was good. I didn't feel like our kickoff team did a great job. We worked on that a little extra this week. We didn't go down in layers like we want to, and Malachi Hopkins made two great tackles to save touchdowns on that. So, we don't want to rely on him to have to do that every single time. So, hopefully we got some things straightened out on that.
Get off and running. You do open the season again with a victory. It's the 14th time in 14th seasons you have opened as a head coach of the Southeast Trojans with a victory. So always starting out 1-0, that sure helps. But also other layers of Southeast football getting going too, with the JV coming up and getting a victory against Rock Creek. Talk about the other kind of levels of Southeast football that got started here in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, you bet. I'm pretty proud of our JV squad. We jumped out on Rock Creek early, played well the first quarter and a half, and then I felt like we kind of had a letdown for the rest of the game. But we were up 20-0 pretty quickly in that game. Pretty proud of how they got started there. Yeah, they got out of 1-0, and our eighth grade, our A team is 2-0 now. They won last night. Beat a pretty good Russell team, and so I'm pretty excited about what's going there. The seventh grade has played 2 fifth quarters, and they've won both of those. So, and then our little kids, our 6th, 5th, and 4th, start their play this weekend. So, kind of excited about all of it.
Yeah, all kinds of levels going on there, from the little guys all the way up to the big guys. Getting ready for Beloit this week. How's your week gone for you in preparation?
Yeah, I thought we started a little slow. Beloit does a lot of things different than Rock Creek does, and I thought Tuesday and part of Wednesday we weren't getting to where we need to be, seeing the reads we wanted to, and things like that. But as the week progressed, I felt like we did a pretty darn good job.
This is a Beloit team that started 0-2 last year, losing to Ellsworth as they did again this year, and then losing to Southeast of Saline. But then they rattled off 8 straight wins, ended up losing to Kingman in the round of the playoffs right before you played Kingman last year. This is a team that seems to make improvements and do things as they get going. They also lost a lot of talent from a year ago, but this is still a team that when you look at them, you just kind of go, you shake your head a little bit and you go, well, it's Beloit, isn't it? I mean, the system just remains the same. But you did tell me they switched a little bit up on defense.
It does stay a lot the same. Coach Gilbert does a great job. He's got a couple new assistant coaches up there. Defense looks a little bit different. Their offense looks the same as it has the last couple of years. So, but it's Beloit. We know those kids are going to come and play hard, and their expectations are high. They did start 0-2 last year, but like you said, rattled off 8 games, and that's kind of what they expect to win games. So. We've got to make sure that we're mentally and physically both prepared when Beloit comes to town, or we get to roll in up there.
Always exciting having the home opener. Of course, the stands will be packed tonight and see the Trojans play on both sides, Beloit and southeast of Saline. What do you want to see most from your guys tonight, Coach?
After last week, I really feel like we need to make sure we take care of the football. We did have 3 turnovers last week, and we sure don't want to do that day in and day out. Shore up some penalties. We worked on that. Kickoff team is big for us also. And then continue to work meshing and working together. I think we did a good job for week 1, but we want to see an increase of that as we progress throughout the season. And we obviously want to make sure we're getting better.
Mitch Gebhardt, head coach of the Southeast of Saline Trojans. His guys tonight opening at home. Their 1-0 record against an 0-1 Beloit team. Should be a great game, Coach. Best of luck to you. We'll talk to you at halftime.
All right, thanks a lot.
Back with more Southeast Trojan pregame after this on KINA.
Are you looking for a local brokerage firm to help you with your Medicare, life insurance, and annuities? L&L Advisors is the #1 local Medicare supplement and insurance specialist. Medicare can be confusing. Let the experts at L&L Advisors help make sense of it. Stop by one of 3 locations in Salina or McPherson and speak to an agent about the needs of your family. L&L Advisors, main office at 717 Roach right off Crawford and in the Central Mall Salina and downtown McPherson. Based on honesty and trust, contact L&L Advisors today.
You're telling me your driver turns you on remotely?
It feels so good. One gentle touch of a handy remote or mobile app and my motor is running. And don't fret, my little pickup pal. New Image Audio installs these inside trucks too.
Oh, yeah.
You'll want it when the winter chill hits. A remote start from New Image Audio for cars, trucks, even diesels. All systems remote and cell phone capable. Nationwide coverage. Get yours at New Image Audio on South Broadway
in Salina.
This has been Countdown to Kickoff. The opening kick is right around the corner.
It's about to get ugly.
Back to the stadium we go for Trojan football on KINA Sports.
Welcome back in here to the campus of Southeast of Saline. Steve Fritz Field as the Southeast of Saline Trojans return home after being on the road week 1 at Rock Creek, winning 26-7. Welcome in, everybody. My name is Russ Kossel. I'll be joined by the voice of the Southeast Saline Trojans, Devin Haney, in just a little bit. Tonight's game, it's going to be a great matchup. When Beloit comes in, these two teams being in the NCAA together, they always put in a good contest. Last year up there, 43-6, Southeast over Beloit. Beloit last week at home against Ellsworth lost 22-14. Same path they were on last year, lost 2 in a row to open the season and then won 8 in a row to go into the playoffs. The last home opener for Southeast Saline, as you heard in the countdown to kickoff, was 2018 was the last time they were on the road to open the season. Tonight, back here on the campus of Southeast of Saline. Coach Mitch Gebhardt's 14th year at Southeast has never lost a home opener in 13 tries. Weather tonight, about 90 degrees, 10-mile-an-hour wind, east-northeast. Going to drop down to the mid-70s and be very comfortable towards the end. Probably about halftime, Devin, the weather will turn great. Light breeze right now, pretty easy out.
Really, for the first time this week, we got to the point where you walk out to go to work in the mornings or you go out late at night to do something and you kind of got that little goosebumps with the crisp air and you kind of feel like fall's around the corner. Definitely football weather, and that's what we're going to have a little bit of here tonight. Of course, it's Kansas. Things can change, but right now, it looks like Sunday, we're going to take a drastic swing and really cool off. Highs in the 70s and 80s next week. So this could be our last hot game, but who knows? We might have one in October. I don't know.
Yeah, you never know. So a great night for football here as Beloit comes to town. We know this team, Devin, is run heavy. You go back to last week and you heard Mitch Gebhardt say we got to flip-flop our defensive tactics this week from a dual quarterback that both of them can throw and run last week to now you bring Beloit in. who only threw the ball 5 times week 1 against Ellsworth.
You spend 2, maybe 3 weeks preparing for a Rock Creek team that goes 5 wide receivers, maybe a running back every now and then. You go back and look at my stat sheet from last week. I had 2 people wrote down as a runner, and that was their running back and their starting quarterback. That was it. That's all that they were going to run the ball. Now you have to totally flip what you prepared for in the preseason leading up to this since you started practice. When school started, now you're preparing for the exact opposite. You're preparing for a team that right now on my stat sheet, I have 1 potential receiver listed, and they only threw the ball against Ellsworth last week a total of 5 times, going 2 for 5 in that game against Ellsworth. As you said, they ended up losing that game 22-14, and this is a Beloit team that kind of tried to morph into maybe a passing team when Quinn Eilert took over at quarterback as a sophomore. Now they're back to a run-heavy thing, and it is kind of, again, I always burn this term from Rick Erickson when he did Southeast of Saline football, and we'd see Beloit. It is everybody inside the hash marks, inside of a mason jar. A lot of times you will see a formation from the Beloit Trojans that doesn't have a wide receiver. They'll go double tight, stack the backfield full of running backs, and just run right at you. And we saw it last year, Russ. This is a Beloit team that is comfortable just going 3 yards and a cloud of dust and keeping the Southeast offense off the field.
And it's a lot of smoke and mirrors in the backfield. A lot of motion's going to be going on. But you heard from Beloit's radio broadcaster, they had a 15-play drive last week.
Insane.
15-play drive. Don't know how much time that chewed up, but at that 15-play drive, they ended with a turnover on down, so they're going to commit to the run.
Yeah, and as Wade Gerstner told me, you got to cash it, right? You got to have that 15-play drive, but you got to come away with 6, 7, 8 points. You got to have that touchdown to end that drive. That's something that Beloit did not do a week ago against Ellsworth.
Yeah, we'll look at some of the area games going on tonight. Saline Central versus Goddard Eisenhower. Central coming in 1-0 after winning the Governor's Cup against South last week. Saline South on the road at Derby. Class 4A, Concordia at Abilene. Abilene coming off a 2-touchdown victory over Marysville last week. El Saline at Hanover. And a good one just up the road, Chapman at Clay Center. Also have Sacred Heart at Minneapolis, and our friends at Bennington State Bank providing free admission for that game.
We saw last year when Southeast of Saline went to Minneapolis, Bennington State Bank took the bill, and they paid for everybody's tickets. They are doing that again tonight in Minneapolis for Minneapolis Sacred Heart. You can also watch that game or listen to it, live stream video and audio on SalinaPost.com, courtesy of Bennington State Bank. They're your local hometown bank, and they are a member FDIC. Other games we're going to keep our eye on tonight, Riley County's at Rossville. That's always an interesting game up north. And, of course, this one here should be a good one, the renewal of the Trojan War. This is a game that really was out of hand for Southeast of Saline when Mitch Gebhardt took over. Southeast lost their first 5 in a row against Beloit, but since then, Russ, starting back in 2015, Southeast of Saline has won 6 out of the last 7, and they've won the last 5 in a row. They have totally flipped the script on this rivalry.
Yeah, flipped it in dominating fashion, and that kind of leads into our new image audio keys to the game. And I'm going to go back last week. It was really the line of scrimmage. You know, there wasn't Rock Creek really won that defensive line of scrimmage. I think tonight with the run, your Southeast is going to have to win the line of scrimmage on the defensive side of the ball.
Trojans in all purple from head to toe. They'll kick it off with Wyatt Boyd as they won the toss and deferred. Beloit will pick it up at the 20-yard line. They'll angle to the left, now back to the middle of the field and be brought down there as the Beloit Trojans will start out with the football. On the return, Brody Schroeder. Look at the Southeast of Saline defense. It's going to look like this. Up front, the guys that were in the backfield all night long against Rock Creek a week ago, led by Josiah Monday. 2 tackles for loss, 2 quarterback sacks for Josiah Monday a week ago. Also 2 tackles for loss. Brody Chambers, Bryson Lippold, and Drew Weller are the starters up front. Your corners, Tucker Thaxton along with Wyatt Boyd. Your linebackers are Daniel Kerr, Cameron Whitty, who led the team in tackles last week with 7. Also Grady Gebhardt, Nathan Friesen, and your free safety is Gannon Jacobson. Those are your starters for the Southeast Trojan defense. Beloit comes out. They have Quinn Eilert running the quarterback spot for them. 3 running backs behind him and 2 tight ends. No wide receivers. Beloit wearing white tops, black pants. They drop the football on the first play. Eilert picks it up, and then he is buried by Southeast. Daniel Kerr came in, made the tackle up high, but already down low for the Southeast of Saline Trojan defense. Making the tackle was a couple of different guys in there for Southeast of Saline. Canyon Douglas, one of the first ones in there. And there's a Beloit Trojan down here early on. It is Quinn Eilert, the senior quarterback for the Beloit Trojans. So they'll have to check on him. A Beloit coach coming out, but already on scene is the training staff from Saline Regional Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Clinic. I want to take this moment to thank Stephanie and Morgan Kniper of the Kniper Agency of Farmers Insurance, proud supporters of Southeast of Saline athletics and activities. Eiler is up, and he is not putting any pressure at all on his right leg. So Eiler, with assistance, will go to the sideline, and running up, not really probably planning on playing quarterback tonight, was Jackson Weston. He's a 6'1", 161-pound junior.
Tough break there early for Beloit. You not only fumble the ball on your first play, but quarterback Quinn Eilert, which he is so key to this offense, really is the keys to the ignition of everything they do.
That fumble that was recovered by Beloit lost about a yard for the visiting Trojans. They'll break the huddle, run to the line of scrimmage as Jackson Weston dropped the football, and now it's going to be picked up, maybe recovered here by the purple-cladded Trojans. They're claiming they have it, waiting on official signal. Could this be another botched snap for Beloit? And this time it is. And again, at the bottom of the pile is linebacker Canyon Douglas. 2 snaps, 2 fumbles, one of them lost for Beloit. And we have our first turnover of the game already here in this game. And in the first 2 plays, nothing good happening for Beloit. Southeast quickly back out, now ready to go on offense. Their first possession. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Pitch out goes to Friesen. Friesen's going to cut it back behind of a block, and he is going to get maybe 4 on the first play.
And not a surprise to come out and see the run from Southeast. They had their biggest game on the ground last year against this Beloit team with 278 yards rushing on the ground. So maybe something they'll go to early and often.
Call it 3 for Friesen on his first carry. Evan Watkins out there blocking on the edge helped him get positive yardage. 2nd down and 7. Kerr with a fake handoff, looking for space straight up the middle of the field, and he is gone. Cash this one in for Southeast of Saline. A 2-play drive that started at the 29-yard line, and it's Daniel Kerr waltzing in from 27 yards away.
And an absolute great job by all 5 up front. Nathan Weller, Brody Chambers, Keaton Blake, Josiah Monday, Kendall Minimum. Just a phenomenal job up front right there by this Southeast Saline offensive line. Daniel Kerr just had to make 1 cut back up the middle of the field and goes untouched, outrunning the safety to put it in for 6. And now Southeast is going to sit up in the swinging gate here for the 2-point conversion.
Didn't take long. Daniel Kerr, 27 yards away. Here's a pass, left-hand side. Tucker Thaxton up with his gloves on it, and he'll haul it in. And it's the Southeast of Saline Trojans with a takeaway on defense and a drive on offense of 2 plays, putting 8 on the board with 11:07 left to go. On the first quarter, you're listening and watching live stream video on SalinaPost.com. The Southeast of Saline Trojan football.
1, 2, 3, 5. It's 3rd down and 8 for the Trojans. They really need to make the right call here.
During the football game, it's crucial to make the right call. And in real estate, 1 call can bring a positive outcome from your real estate experience. Whether you're looking for real property, upsizing to make room for the family, downsizing, or acquiring investment property, call Winnell Garrettson at SalinaHomes.com.
What a call! Touchdown, Trojan!
Buy or sell, call Winnell.
You're listening to Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Back here at the Fritz on campus, Southeast of Saline High School. First home game for Southeast of Saline. They haven't started on the road to start a new season. Game number 1 on the road since 2018, which it just felt weird last week, right? We weren't at home, and I'm like, don't we always open the season at home? Not always, but it's been a while. 2018 was the last time they opened up against Sacred Heart in Salina.
Much better weather tonight. About 103 at kickoff last week.
Here's the kickoff for the second time. Wyatt Boyd trying to find that soft spot. He does it. Another fumble. Southeast of Saline scrambling in. They're claiming they have it, jumping around on the sideline. Officials come in, and they're trying to get everybody unpiled, and they are going to say it belongs to Southeast of Saline. Another fumble by Beloit and their second turnover.
Yeah, and that recovered right there by Deacon Bear. So a great job right there by the return team. Another short kick, and we talk about this year after year ever since he's been kicking. Not really going for the end zone. He can place that ball anywhere he wants. return guy had to come up full speed to get it.
Kerr already out with the offense. Empty backfield. Rolling out to the left. The southpaw has the ball about shoulder length. Now he's dancing around with a defender. Can't get away. And he is going to be taken down there. Then thrown ahead about 7 yards. And Daniel Kerr kept that football instead of throwing it into trouble. And I know that's been one focus this week for Southeast.
Yeah, because we saw the one bad play maybe that Daniel Kerr had last week, rolling out, throwing across his body back to the middle of the field, where we saw that interception for one of 3 turnovers for Southeast last week.
No gain, no loss on the play. 2nd down and 10. Empty backfield once again. 3 wide receivers to the right-hand side. Kerr fakes to the left. Now dodges it, gets around 2 tacklers, and then slung ahead for about a gain of 3 on that play. Nifty footwork and just elusiveness right there shown by Daniel Kerr, as he should have been tagged in the backfield, but he got away from 2 guys diving at him and ended up with 3 on the play.
And a great job right there by Daniel Kerr. He may not be the fastest guy, but he is agile. He's not going to beat you in 1-2 speed, but he will beat you laterally.
Danny had a lot of carries last week. 22 carries. Now here's a jump ball. Tucker Thaxton, he goes up with a defensive back. We saw him high point a ball last week and win that battle, as he goes up here and cannot win this battle with Brody Schrader.
Yeah, and that one maybe just a little bit underthrown by Daniel Kerr. Tucker Thaxton had his receiver beat by about 3 yards and had to come back, tried to high point the football like he did last week, like you just mentioned. But early on, I think very good looks as far as everything and great decision making by Daniel Kerr.
I don't know that you can overthrow Tucker Thaxton. Here's Kerr on a big 4th down. It's 4-7. He's going to roll out to the right, throw the football over on the side, and Cameron Whitty brings it home. Cameron Whitty diving past the sticks, brings that ball in as he came back to the football next to the Beloit sideline, and he had that thing in both arms, cradled it home, and completed the catch, moving the chains for Southeast of Saline. They'll keep this drive going with a big 4th down conversion.
And that was a focus last week. These receivers had got a lot of time last year, but not really the main targets, and now coming in, they're going to get the majority of the targets.
9 yards to Cameron Whitty. Here's the end-around play. Friesen has it, cuts back, he slips a tackle, and he's going to be in the end zone. A carry for Nathan Friesen of 24 yards, and another Southeast Trojan touchdown.
And a ceiling block on the edge right there by Cameron Whitty. Very disciplined, knowing that he had his guy turned. He tried to turn away from him, let him go. He came back around to the other side, got him squared up, took him clean off his feet, allowing Friesen to get to the corner of the end zone for a touchdown.
Friesen, his first touchdown of the season. He was not in the end zone last week. Grady Gebhardt, remember, scored 2. Scored the first touchdown and the last touchdown of that contest in the 26-7 win over Rock Creek. Here's the swinging gate. The direct snap goes to Friesen. He slips out of a tackle, and he's going to cash it in on the right-hand side. So Friesen does all the heavy lifting here with the touchdown and the 2-point conversion. It's another 8-point trip for Southeast of Saline with 10-12 left to go. Here in the first quarter, it's Southeast of Saline 16, Beloit 0. Southeast of Saline Trojan football tonight here on KINA and SalinaPost.com. Brought to you by Salina Ortho.
The Bennington State Bank proudly supports local sports and wants each student to know that their hard work and talent is noticed and appreciated. At Bennington State Bank, they care about local communities and are committed to fostering long-term relationships through the delivery of excellent customer service, integrity, and fairness. From helping local businesses to supporting community youth and nonprofits to helping you purchase your dream home or invest in your future, Bennington State Bank is here to help. Give them a call to experience exceptional banking with hometown service. Bennington State Bank, your trusted hometown bank. Member FDIC.
You are listening to Southeast Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Back here at Steve Fritz Field on campus of Southeast of Saline's high school. It's a quick start here for Southeast of Saline. A 5-play drive, 30 yards, and it's capped off by a big Nate Friesen run, 24 yards by Nathan. 2 carries for him so far in this game, one of them for his first score of the season. He also got the 2-point conversion on that play. 16-0, Southeast of Saline. And Wyatt Boyd has his hand in the air once again. 3rd kickoff already here for Wyatt Boyd. He's going to angle this one over to the right-hand side. Beloit's up man having to look into the sun as he brings that one in. It's going to be good field position here for the Beloit Trojans as they will start out at their own 39-yard line. Southeast of Saline Trojan Sports here on KINA, and also live stream video on SalinaPost.com, brought to you in part by Kelly Kitchener. He's your local insurance agent in Salina for Shelter Insurance. Kelly Kitchener wants to remind you to have a safe and fun Friday night at the football field.
It's like Jackson Weston still coming out, will run the quarterback position.
They sprint out of the huddle, go to the line of scrimmage. He's going to hand it off. And the first successful play without turning over the football or getting somebody hurt for Beloit is straight up the gut. Josiah Monday makes the tackle on Brody Schrader.
And
no gain on the play.
Like you said, that's the first offensive play or the first time they've had the ball where they have not fumbled it. Fumbled it on the first play. Quinn Eilert gets hurt. Fumbled it on the second play, turnover. Fumbled the ensuing kickoff.
Yeah, rough start for Beloit here in this game. They'll jailbreak once again to the line of scrimmage. First guy through gets the football, and it's going to be Ashton Bletcher. And Bletcher's going to have a positive carry. He'll bring it up across the 45-yard line on a gain of 6. Bring up 3rd down and 4.
And a big play right there for Beloit, getting to 3rd and manageable. You heard on the pregame show that they get stuck in 2nd and 3rd and long. They're committed to the run, so they need to get to 2nd and 3rd and manageable.
3rd and 4 from the 45. There's the give again, leaning over on the right-hand side. This is going to go back to Schroeder, and he will get maybe half a yard on the play.
And I think right now, the guys up front, Josiah Monday, Brody Chambers, Deacon Bear, doing a great job managing. You know, they're going to be undersized all year. Southeast does not have the biggest guys on the line, but I would put those 3. We saw them last week taking on 5 offensive linemen.
4th and 3 at the 47. Beloit showing that they're going to go for it. They hand it off to the second man through. He gets hit hard, but then spins for a positive gain. And this one's going to depend on the spot. And by the officials coming in, I don't think they have it. Looks like they're going to be about a football short here. Now when the football is placed down, it's even shorter than that. And the official is going to call for the chains. So our first measurement of the night. But just looking down the line here, Russ, I don't think there's any way they have this first down.
Yeah, it looks like it's a good half yard, long full yard short. Contact made with about 2 yards to go, and he's able to spin and get it close to the first down. Going to have to work on wrapping up. That's 2 plays in a row now where Southeast has made that tackle, and they are going to say short, but it was a lot closer than we thought up here.
The football is past the line, and the official said turnover on downs and gave it to Southeast. Oh. Southeast is coming off the field celebrating, and now he's going to change the call and say first down Beloit. That chain might be 4 lengths short compared to that spot and where the marker was at on the far side. That didn't compute. Didn't make sense.
Yeah, I'm looking right down the line directly at it, and it clearly looked like at least a half yard short, and it really wasn't even close on the measurement. It showed about a half a football short.
Yeah, the ball's at the 49. The sticks are closer to the 50. Anyway, first down for Beloit. They'll keep this drive alive at midfield, and coming through, taking the carry is Jennings Sloan. And Sloan will get about a yard on the play.
Great job right there by Tucker Thaxton coming up from his corner spot. Looks like they're running maybe 2 safeties now, but Tucker reading that great, coming up and making the stop to make the tackle for no gain.
2nd down and 10 coming up here for Beloit. After they spotted the football and said no gain on the play. Again, Beloit running to the line of scrimmage. Schroeder, second guy through. Actually, no, it's a fake to Schroeder, and now the ball pops free, but the running back already down. Not sure who carried that football for the Beloit Trojans there.
Grady Gebhardt came in with the tackle. Seems to be a thing now after those first 2 plays, Devin, where they have fumbled the football. And Grady right there, as soon as he had him wrapped up, you saw him try to rake the football out of his arms. Was able to get it out just a tad late. Running back was down.
5 yards for Beloit there on 2nd down. Brings up 3rd and 5. They do have a wide receiver now. Nobody was set for Beloit on the left-hand side. They're still going to get the play out without a flag. And now breaking out of traffic is going to be Brody Schroeder. And Schroeder's going to go down the left-hand sideline for a big, big gain here.
Yeah, and that wide receiver was still moving laterally, checking with the line judge to see if he was set, still moving backwards. We saw that last week would Southeast get called for that? So tough break right there. Nonetheless, you know they're going to run the ball. You have to stay committed to your gap defense.
Longest play of the game for the Beloit Trojans on offense of 19 yards. That's first down and 10 now at the 31-yard line. They are in southeast of Saline territory. Jackson Weston comes up, hands it off again. This one goes left, and Beloit working that left-hand side of the field over there as Joel Rexroth gets his first carry of the night, and he goes to the 19-yard line. And a timeout is called for southeast of Saline. We'll step away and take it as well. A 30-second timeout as southeast of Saline wants to talk about it here on defense on KINA.
For a century, the Farmall tractor transformed farming generation after generation. Today, legacy Farmall tractors and modern ones are found all around the world. Still incredibly reliable, still all-purpose as ever. To celebrate 100 years of Farmall, Case IH is giving away a Farmall Utility 75C tractor and $15,000. Join the celebration and enter for your chance to win. For contest details, contact CanEquip in Salina.
You're listening to Southeast of Saline football on KINA.
Back here on campus, southeast of Saline High School, Devin Haney along with Russ Kossel, Big Sam Pretty's producing and engineering, and on the roof is Brian Dennett, providing live stream video paired with the radio broadcast of this contest on SalinaPost.com, brought to you courtesy of our friends at Salina Ortho. Southeast of Saline Booster Club, we're bringing you live coverage to showcase exceptional student activities at Southeast of Saline and build that purple power. It is always a great day to be a Trojan. Timeout there by Southeast of Saline. That'll leave them with 2 more remaining here in this half. As I imagine adjustments on the mind. The coaching staff there, Russ, not very happy with the 2 last plays by Beloit. One a 19-yarder and one a 12-yarder.
Yeah, and Beloit's getting ready to break the huddle here with a wide receiver in this motion.
From the 19, they are in side of the red zone. Here's the give. Beloit's going to score. Boy, untouched goes Joel Rexroth. He has back-to-back carries for a total of 31 yards. This one goes for 19 yards, and he came through untouched through a big hole right in the middle of the field.
Yeah, he went untouched. I believe that was Ashton Bletchner, though, that carried the ball, number 12 for Beloit. So he goes untouched up the middle. Defensive line really getting taken care of by the offense of Beloit on those last 4 plays.
So Beloit using a lot of running backs here. As Bletcher gets that one into the end zone, now they're going to go for 2 and try to cut this deficit in half and straight up the gut. They do not get it. They come up short on the carry there by Bletcher as he tries to get both, and he cannot. So in a quick-moving, scoring-wise first quarter, 16-6, southeast of Saline. They lead it by 10 with 6:46 left to go here in the first period on KINA.
Citizens State Bank has been serving Kansans for over 100 years. We are a full-service bank that can service your personal, business, and agricultural lending and deposit needs. Citizens State Bank offers 24/7 convenience with mobile deposit, online banking, and our ATM conveniently located in front of the building. Stop by and see our friendly and helpful staff. Citizens State Bank at 600 Maple Street in Gypsum, Kansas. Citizens State Bank and Trust Company is a proud supporter of the Southeast of Saline Trojans.
You're listening to Southeast of Saline football on KINA.
9-play drive there by the Beloit Trojans. A couple of big plays, a 19-yard run, a 12-yard run, another 19-yard run. They're able to get down the field and score their first touchdown. So really, if you're Beloit right now, Russ, for the way that this game started, you got to be feeling pretty good. You're still down by 2 possessions, but it looked like you were going to get ran out of the building after the first 3 minutes of this game.
Yeah, it was all guys in purple jerseys for the first 3 minutes. Southeast putting 2 scores on the board in about 4 minutes and some change. So I expect some defense adjustments after that. Like you said, it's just a lot of smoke and mirrors and motion. And the last 3 plays, they just handed it to the running back right up the middle.
Some interesting conversations, I bet, going on right now on the sidelines. Brody Chambers is talking to head coach Mitch Gebhardt almost one-on-one. All the defensive backs are over with Chance Potocik looking over his shoulder at a screen. Josiah Monday was over talking to Trent Douglas about something. So a lot of ears being filled right now by this Southeast of Saline coaching staff that has been together in this form for 9 years. Not a lot of change, and it's probably a good thing. That's why Southeast of Saline is usually playing into November.
You don't have to get ready if you stay ready.
That's right. Also lets us experience 80-degree difference in football games.
That's right.
Here's the kickoff by Beloit, a high end-over-end kick. It's going to be short, though, to Friesen. He's going to take it inside the 20-yard line to the 19. Flag on the play. Friesen gets away from the first Beloit player. Now comes to the second level, and he's going to be tackled down at the 35-yard line. And, of course, we'll check the flag, which is most likely a holding call against Southeast of Saline.
That's exactly what they're going to get right here, holding. It looked like it might have been Cameron Whitty on the near side over here, so Southeast going to have even worse field position to start their third drive of the game.
Southeast of Saline so far, success running the football. 24-yard touchdown by Nathan Friesen, 27-yard touchdown by Daniel Kerr. Remember back a year ago, Southeast of Saline's largest rushing output was against the Beloit Trojans in Beloit. 278 yards of rushing in that game for Southeast of Saline. On their way to a total of 406 yards.
On their own 16.
So Southeast of Saline starting their third drive. Here's Friesen in the gap, and he's going to spin as he comes through the line of scrimmage and then topple down at the 20-yard line. It's a gain of 4 for Nathan Friesen, a 1,000-yard rusher a year ago. Had some trouble with some cramps, though, in week number 1.
Second down.
It's usually, this being my third year with you, you see that a lot in week 1, and abnormally hot last week.
Here is a fake now to Friesen. Little screen, bubble screen out to Whitty, and Whitty is hit behind the line of scrimmage. He has to spin off that tackler. Got some help out there from Wyatt Boyd, and ends up back at the line of scrimmage for no gain on the play. He was hung out to basically look like he was going to lose about 5 yards on that one.
Yeah, great job right there to break free and get back to the line of scrimmage. Now 3rd and long for Southeast.
3rd down and about 6. Kerr with an empty backfield. 2 wide receivers on the left-hand side. He's rolling that way. Now one of them springs open. It's Friesen. Friesen catches it at the 28 and then turns and falls to the 30. It will be a Trojan first down. Nice job there by Nathan Friesen, just kind of finding that soft spot in the field and ends up getting 10 yards.
Yeah, and a great job there by Friesen to just find it. Kerr rolling out to his strong side, being a left-handed quarterback. Friesen looked left, looked right, kind of found the opening in the soft spot, put his hands out, got the first down.
Friesen's first catch of the night. First down and 10 for Southeast of Saline at their own 30-yard line. Here's Friesen again, trying to shake off a couple of Beloit players. The second one's going to get him for no gain on the play. Friesen so far, 4 carries, 31 yards. Also has that catch of 10 yards that he just got. Time now to check our Bennington State Bank scoreboard as scores start to go up on boards across north central Kansas. Minneapolis at the end of the first quarter, leading Sacred Heart 7-0. Minneapolis trying to move to 2-0 coming into a game next week here against Southeast of Saline. 2 receivers to the left-hand side. 2nd down and 10. For Daniel Kerr, he has Friesen behind him in the pistol. He wants to go long in the outside. Here's Thaxton, has the football at the 42, slips a tackle to 35, and this race is over. Tucker Thaxton racing to the end zone, completes the big play for Southeast of Saline. 70 yards in the air, Kerr to Thaxton.
And go back about 6 minutes ago, we had this conversation where Thaxton got a little bit underthrown, and you said, I don't think you can underthrow Tucker Thaxton, and that's exactly what happened right there. Daniel Kerr put up a beautiful ball, had 2 wide open receivers down the middle of the field, chose Thaxton on the outside, breaks 1 tackle, unable to bring him down. It's then a track meet to the end zone, which is won by Tucker Thaxton.
Thaxton had a big week last week, puts a big play up there. Here's Kerr rolling out, sidearms it into the end zone, and it's caught and put on the board once again. This is Evan Watkins for the 2-point conversion. Southeast of Saline with 3 touchdowns. They're also 3 for 3 on 2-point conversions, and with 4:49 left to go here in the first quarter, it's the purple-cladded Trojans here at home, leading Beloit 24-6 on KINA.
Suburban Appliance Center is your official dealer for Traeger grills. Check out this 6-in-1 versatile unit that grills, bakes, smokes, roasts, braces, and barbecues. Suburban is your exclusive dealer for the Traeger Timberline series, and they have your Traeger spices too. Suburban Appliance Center, they are locally owned and they offer appliance brands like Amana, KitchenAid, Whirlpool, and of course Maytag. Suburban also offers exceptional service. Suburban Appliance Center, 1900 South 9th.
You are listening to Southeast Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Marshall Motors scoring drive recap. 70-yard play. Daniel Kerr to Tucker Thaxton down the left-hand sideline. And that puts Southeast of Saline with the 2-point conversion up 24-6. El Saline at the end of the first quarter, they're leading Hanover as we check the Bennington State Bank scoreboard, 6-0. Also, Abilene at the end of the first, leading Concordia, 14-0. As Wyatt Boyd's ready to kick it off for the fourth time here in the first quarter.
Yeah, just a great job by the offense to rebound.
Kick straight down the middle of the field. One of the deep receivers will have to come up and get it. They do, now angling off to the left-hand side. Mitch Gebhardt wanted his kickoff team to cover better, and it seems like they have done so far here in this game. So Beloit returns it back, though, to the 40-yard line. So the Beloit Trojans, coming off their first scoring drive, will go back to work here on the offensive side of the ball. They'll start out at their own 40.
And see what defensive adjustments are made here for Southeast of Saline. Maybe shifting some linebackers, maybe bringing down a safety a little closer. You know, a lot of adjustments can be made. It looks like now they're going to four down on the line.
3 running backs still in that backfield. They're going to slip it through to the running back that was lined up off the right hip of the quarterback, Jackson Weston. It's Ashton Bletcher again. And Bletcher's going to get about 6 yards on the play. He's been their best back so far in this game.
Yeah, and his helmet comes off, so he's going to have to go out for one play, and then he can return back in. Is this a safety precaution that Keisha puts in place?
Only averaged 1.9 yards a carry last week. He had 9 carries for 17 yards. He is well over that here in this game. Also has a touchdown on a 19-yard carry. Here's Schroeder dancing around behind the line of scrimmage, gets back to the line, and then is tackled there. Third down coming up for the black, white, and orange Beloit Trojans. The third and about 4.
And we saw last week, the 3 down defensive linemen for Southeast move around a little bit. On this, the last 2 drives, the end of the last drive and the start of this one, they've moved Josiah Monday to left end and put Big Brody Chambers in the middle. As soon as I say that, they switch positions.
There's some guys popping up here early on in this season here, Russ, that are playing very, very well. Here's the give to the first guy through. Grady Gebhardt greets him in the gap. And the Beloit running back, once again, it's Bletcher, is going to spin and get a couple of yards, and it's going to be 4th down and 2. Big hit by Gebhardt.
And maybe that's what they need to do. You see the gap and just fill it with the linebacker. We saw this last year up in Beloit when Southeast was up there. They started blitzing the opposite side linebacker in the gap every time, and he was able to stop him short.
4th and 2. Beloit going to go for it here at midfield. Hard count by Beloit. And the official going to say that a Southeast player came into the neutral zone and throw the flag. Free 5 yards here for the Beloit Trojans. I saw movement, but I didn't see encroachment.
Yeah, 20. Yeah, he came.
Okay.
He came across on the far side. It wasn't by much, but his helmet clearly did break across the plane of the ball.
Trent Douglas there to greet.
Kenyon Douglas.
Mm-hmm. So that 5 yards for Beloit. We'll move it across midfield down to the Southeast of Saline 46. We are still in the first quarter. 2:51 left to go. Here's a tackle for a loss in the backfield. Nathan Friesen coming in, and he's going to take down Joel Rexroth for a loss of 2 yards.
Great job by Nathan Friesen coming from that far side cornerback position, reading that play very well. Very rarely does Beloit go away from where they split out a wide receiver when they do, so great recognition right there by Nathan Friesen.
Back to the 48 goes Beloit for a 2nd down and 12. 2:20 left to go here, first period. Beloit finally out of their huddle. 3 seconds left on the play clock. They go on a fake, and this is going to be Jackson Weston out on the edge, and a flag comes from the back judge. Now another flag on the far side, as they had a flag at about the 40-yard line. Beloit is celebrating like they have a big play, but this one's going to be coming back.
Yeah, you're going to have a hold on the outside as well as a double block in the back on the same defensive back, I believe, right here. I mean, there was 3 flags on the field, but I believe one of them was for holding and the other 2 were for clear block in the back. So a fortunate break right there for Southeast of Saline because they had committed. That's the first time we've seen Beloit kind of fake it back and go back to the other side, and it was wide open.
So they'll get 3 yards on the play before the hold occurred, and then it was walked off. That's what they're going to go from a 2nd down and 12 to a 2nd down and 9. Still in shallow Southeast of Saline territory. Ball sitting just outside of the 45-yard line. Beloit to the line of scrimmage. Early movement up front. No flags on this play. And the ball carrier stopped there for a loss of 2. Joel Rexroth again.
Yeah, Josiah Monday coming through really fast right there. Got right in that A gap right between them. Stayed low, was able to keep his head up and get his arms wrapped around the legs of Rexroth and bring him down for a short gain.
24-6 Southeast of Saline as we are rounding out first quarter action. 77 seconds left to go here in the first. Beloit taking their time, spending time in the huddle. Play clock down to 10.
Yeah, and we saw this last week, a long first quarter last week, this time for a totally different reason.
3rd down and 8. Here's the back coming through, a handoff, Jennings Sloan, and he's going to be stacked up and lost another 2 yards. So 2 plays and a loss of 4 yards for the Beloit Trojans. And they will have to run one more play here before we hit the end of the period.
Yeah, I couldn't tell who was on the bottom of that pile on that tackle, but when Brody Chambers comes and finishes that thing off and lands on top of the pile, you're not going anywhere.
4th down and 10. And again, Beloit staring over at the sideline. Jackson Weston, who's come on in relief here for Beloit at the quarterback spot after Quinn Eilert went down on the first play of the night. Comes into the play. He's been running over to the coaching staff, then coming back to the field to run the play. Play clock down to 5. 4th down and 10. Weston wants to throw. Under pressure. He's going to be racked up and dropped. Back inside the 45-yard line. It's a huge loss. About 12 yards for the Southeast of Saline defense as Grady Gebhardt came through like a missile and got the sack.
Yeah, just coming untouched right there. They kind of committed to that blitz to fill the middle. Receivers took a long time to get out of their break, really nowhere to even throw the football, let alone had time for it. So a great defensive stand and a great bounce back by this defense.
First pass attempt of the night for the Beloit Trojans, and it blows up in their face. They lose 12 yards.
Southeast is going to have to run one play right here as we got 7.8 seconds left in the first quarter.
Southeast out on the field. Daniel Kerr has Friesen to his right hip. Gets the snap. Counter play. Friesen starts right, comes back left. Trips through a couple of Beloit Trojans, and he is going to be down at the 43-yard line. A gain of 2, and that'll bring us to the end of the first quarter. And a score favoring Southeast of Saline. 24-6, Southeast of Saline leads it at the end of 1. Back with second quarter action after this. You're listening and watching on SalinaPost.com to live stream video. It's brought to you by Salina Ortho.
Insurance is something we all need in our business, home, car, and life. But do you really understand what's covered? And most importantly, what you are paying for? Hi, this is Rob Carlson in the Salina office of Smart Insurance. Change is good, especially if you haven't looked at your insurance policy lately. I can help you understand what you need and where the gaps are in your coverage. We provide free quotes and take pride in looking out for you. Smart Insurance, with locations in Salina, Abilene, and Harrington. Give us a call today.
Mary Maids in Salina offers house cleaning services you can see and feel. Your home is more than just a house. It's where memories are made and moments are cherished. Though life can be complicated, house cleaning shouldn't be. Mary Maids strives to take the stress out of your day so you can live your life your way. With more than 40 years experience and an advanced time-tested cleaning process, they can help you reclaim time with your loved ones. Find Mary Maids on Facebook or check out their website at marymaids.com.
You're listening to Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
24-6 Southeast of Saline as we start second quarter action. It's brought to you by our friends at Assaria Oil and Hardware. If you need to fuel up and it's after hours or very early in the morning like when Russ goes to work, stop by Assaria Oil and Hardware. They have 24/7 pumps. You can pay by card at the pump 24 hours a day. Here's Kerr. Fakes the pitch to the right-hand side, trying to get back to the line of scrimmage, and he cannot as he's thrown for a loss of 1 yard. Daniel Kerr had 3 carries in that first quarter. His first one, a 27-yard touchdown run. And that one, though, losing a yard.
A great job right there by Brody Boudreau coming around and hanging on to Daniel Kerr around the tackle.
Brings up a 3rd down and 8 here for Southeast of Saline. Southeast breaking the huddle. They're going to dispatch 4 wide receivers, including Nathan Friesen on the left-hand side. Kerr wants to roll that way. Daniel has the ball. He's going to unleash it down the sideline. Thaxton has it, and he's going to be out of bounds, it looks like. He had a beat on that football and just kind of went stumbling out of bounds in pursuit of that ball that looked like it traveled out of play. And that will bring up now an interesting 4th down decision here for Southeast of Saline. So far, we have not seen a punt in this game. These two teams have been going for it on 4th down with some success.
Yeah, the only one not being that last 4th down attempt by Beloit where Grady Gebhardt got the sack. And you're really right here in the position where you're putting it in the hands of your defense if you don't get this right here, that you can stop them because they will have good field position.
From the 44-yard line. Southeast of Saline with a 4th down and 8. Empty backfield. 5 wide receivers. Down the seam, here is Watkins, and he's just overthrown off the fingertips that time. Kerr could not find him. Evan Watkins was running free and made a diving attempt at it, but could not come up with the football. That is just the 2nd incompletion of the night for Daniel Kerr. He is 4 of 6 passing the football.
Yeah, and I don't even know if Tucker Thaxton could have ran that one down just a little bit. Far outreach. Daniel Kerr staying in the pocket. Offensive line gave plenty of time right there for Kerr to throw the football. Watkins just unable to reel that one in and run it down. Turnover on downs. Now Beloit back with the football.
Score update from Derby, where Salina South is playing at the end of the first quarter. It is 14-0. Derby Panthers over Cougars. And here's movement up front. Beloit barely got the huddle broke. Just all that momentum running out of the huddle to your stance, and one of the Beloit Trojans tipped over and took 5 yards on a penalty.
It's hard to stop a freight train on a dime.
Beloit is big up front. We really haven't talked about that a whole lot, but they have some big guys up front on both the offensive and defensive lines.
Yeah, 235, 280, 275. Just big kids up front.
So back to the 38-yard line. Goes Beloit after the penalty. Ball on the ground again. Southeast claiming they have it. Lead official comes in, and he agrees. Another turnover for the Beloit Trojans, their 3rd fumble of the game.
And a great bounce back after giving up a big play by Kenyon Douglas, coming up with that football, just sniffing it right out. As soon as it hit the ground, he was right on top of it. So Beloit starts the second quarter on offense exactly how they started the first quarter, by fumbling the football.
And Southeast of Saline with beautiful field position here, starting out at the Beloit 37-yard line. Kenyon Douglas has 2 fumble recoveries so far here in this first half. First down and 10, Southeast. 3 wide receivers on the left-hand side. Kerr shoulder twitches that way. Now he's going to go straight up the middle, breaks inside the 35 to the 34 on a gain of 3.
And a pretty good job right there by the offensive line. Only a gain of 3, but they stayed engaged the whole time, and Daniel Kerr was able to shuffle, find a little gap, and get 3 yards.
Ball just inside the 35-yard line now. Southeast ready to go for 2nd down. Kerr was looking out to the right. Now he's going to have pressure, and he's going to get out of there. Tried to sidestep a Beloit tackler with a flag in the middle of the field. Looks like Danny might have got about 7 on the play, but of course we need to check the flag and see where that stands.
They are picking the flag up, waving it off, so no penalty right there on whatever the official thought he might have seen. Sun's going down, so the sun wasn't in his eyes.
Sometimes it just goes, I'm going to go 7 on that time for Kerr. 39 yards for him. Ball sitting at the 29-yard line.
We get closer to the end of this second quarter here. Stick around. I'll have comments from Mitch Gebhardt about the first half. I'm sure Devin's got something special lined up for halftime.
You know I do. I don't. I do, but Tyler Henry did a good job on that with us. Here's a carry to the right-hand side. Nothing working over there for Southeast of Saline.
Just really nothing working too much up the middle. It seems like they got to get these speedsters up, get them on the outside. they have that advantage in the speed department, as now you're going to look up at about 4th and 4 yards here.
4th down. It's a long 3, and Beloit's going to give it to him. Southeast gave Beloit one earlier in this game, and now Beloit's going to give one for them.
Offside on the defense. Will result in a Southeast.
So a great break right there for Southeast of Saline, bringing up 1st and 10 from the Beloit 25.
Three wide receivers on the left-hand side. 1st down and 10. Kerr goes away from it, comes to the right, and it's going to be batted and picked. Grady Gebhardt was the intended receiver, and it was batted up in the air and then picked off by Beloit. They're trying to run it back here, but then tackled and lost a few yards. That interception goes to Christian Mears, a 5'10" senior for the Beloit Trojans.
And that ball, sorry, Devin, that ball just underthrown just enough. Grady Gebhardt had 2 steps on the corner, and that ball just kind of hung up in the air just long enough where it was able to be batted into the hands. Now, the fortunate thing for Southeast is they intercepted it, ran back in the end zone, then tried to come back out, got pushed back, tried to run around, and now Southeast, or Beloit, is way back on their own side of the field.
Ball on the 3 as Beloit's trying to come out, and now they are going to possibly take a penalty here, as it is a dead ball procedure penalty against the Beloit Trojans, and now that 3-yard line spot turns into a 1.5 as it goes half the distance to the goal.
Yeah, pushing them back even farther, and you talk about the 15-play drive that Beloit had last week. We have not seen any signs that they are going to get 15-play drives because this defense has stepped up except for that one drive, letting them go. So a big stand right here for Southeast.
From the 1.5-yard line, Beloit trying to come out of this end zone here on the south end of the field here at Steve Fritz Field, as they are lined up mostly in their own end zone. Here's the give, straight up the gut. It goes to, like the first back through there for Beloit. It will be Ashton Bletcher, and no carry, no gain on the play. So Bletcher's attempt to get him out of this trouble goes uncalled for. He might have got to the 2. We'll say that just so we don't have to say 1.5-yard line anymore.
Yeah, you don't want to talk about that. Deacon Bear did a great job right there of clogging the middle and getting rid of his guy and disengaging to make the tackle.
He is one of the guys I mentioned earlier. We're starting to see some guys start to shine defensively here for Southeast. Bear is one of them. There's a counter play off to the right, maybe 2 yards here for the Beloit Trojans, and this is going to turn into a 3rd down and 9. Football coming out to the 4-yard line.
Southeast really doing it. Got to really dig in right here in this 3rd and long. We saw Beloit try to throw a pass. Well, they didn't really try. They didn't have an attempt to try to throw it as Grady Gebhardt was in the backfield before quarterback. They couldn't even get rid of the ball. So a big 3rd down and long here.
8:20 left to go here, second quarter. Big play here in this game. 3rd down for Beloit. Trying to come out from their own end zone. They're at their own 4-yard line. They're going to check out of the play. Now run the football again to the right. And positive yardage there to the 5, maybe 5.5, but no more, as Southeast of Saline is there to make the stop on Schroeder. He got 2 yards on the play, and now a punting situation here for the Beloit Trojans. And Southeast of Saline, if they handle this punt correctly, will have great field position coming out of this. Even though they did throw the interception off the deflection, they should be able to still save that field position that they had.
Wyatt Boyd coming up with a tackle right there. A great open field tackle, as it looked like there was a lane for him. Wyatt Boyd coming low, made a picture-perfect tackle.
Back deep, Cameron Whitty. Daniel Kerr. Snap is low. It's in the end zone and nearly blocked by Southeast of Saline. Here's the football up in the air. Whitty dives after it and loses it. And Beloit's going to recover it. 30-yard line will be the spot of the football, and the Beloit just picked up 25 yards on a botched punt. Reception there by Southeast of Saline. So that's not good. The Southeast defense has to stay on the field.
Yeah, just a tough break right there. That ball hung up in the wind. Whitty trying to come in and run it down. At that point, I think you just got to get away, let the ball bounce around, clear the area out, and just take your losses right there.
So Southeast of Saline's defense being called on once again. Here's a fumble by Beloit once again. And Southeast of Saline will take it right back. Holy cow. 4 fumbles by Beloit here in this first half of action. And another turnover. So Southeast of Saline will get the football back. This is wild. 28-yard line is the spot. Here's Friesen, a little stretch play. He started about 5 yards deep in the backfield, and he's only going to make it back to the 30, losing 2 yards on the play. So a lot of penetration there by Beloit's defense. Coming in to get Friesen for a loss of 2. Second down and 12 coming up here now for Southeast of Saline. 6:45 left to go here, second quarter. 24-6 is our score. Southeast leading over Beloit. Clay Center leads Chapman at the end of the first quarter, 20-0 Tigers. Clay Center, one of those teams in 3A that's on Southeast of Saline's schedule later in the year. We'll go to Clay Center, their new stadium. Here's Cameron Woody on the end around. Has 5 yards, has 10, has 15. Big block on the outside by Nathan Friesen will help spring Cameron Woody into the red zone. Big carry there, and Southeast of Saline is setting up shop in the Can-Equip Case IH red zone. Nice play there.
Yeah, and a great shimmy move and a great block by Nathan Friesen.
And Beloit now having trouble getting players off the field here. And a timeout will have to be burned by Beloit. We'll keep it right here. 6:20 left to go. And, boy, there was some great blocking, Russ, out on that edge right in front of you. And Cameron Woody takes it to the 15-yard line. It was a gain of 15 on that carry.
Yeah, just a great job by all the receivers on the near side of the field here. One guy was unblocked, and Woody made one move and got around him. And then Friesen coming around and just clearing the lane out for him. So a great, great job of being disciplined by everybody on this offense.
Coming up at halftime, we will have a chance to catch up on scores from around the area on the Bennington State Bank scoreboard. We will also give you stats from the first half and also have a conversation with Coach Julian Rathbun, Southeast of Saline volleyball, Lady Trojans, with a brand new head coach this year. We'll talk to her, Coach Rathbun, at the half as Tyler Henry had a chance to visit with her earlier in the week.
If I recall right, they have a big home tournament tomorrow starting at 9 a.m.
Cross country also running tomorrow in Wamego, and they have bumped that up. Athletic Director Doug Miniman told me 30 minutes to start running now at 8:30 instead of 9 o'clock. Of course, if you're going that way to Wamego, you need to be conscious of traffic. It is an 11 o'clock game day at K-State. And right now, I-70, not a friendly place to be with that one-lane traffic there around Fort Riley and Marshall Field that starts around the Junction City, Washington Street exit. So you want to be careful about that and plan ahead. Give yourself plenty of time if you're going to K-State or Wamego to watch cross country.
Not sure what the Beloit coach saw right there, but he came out on the field after that timeout when everybody's getting ready to start and gathered 2 officials to talk and pointed at something.
Okay. Something to keep an eye on there. 6:20 left to go. Empty backfield. Here comes Friesen. Fake handoff. Daniel Kerr's going to keep it. Dancing around. Starts out left. Comes back right. He is looking at the 10-yard line, and forward progress will get him to the 10 as it is a gain of 5, and Daniel Kerr had to work for all of that as he is brought down at the 10.
He had a real patient run right there. He had to work for, like you said, everything there, but really patient, waiting for a hole to open up.
Inside the 6-minute mark now before halftime, 24-6, Southeast of Saline. 30 points combined between these two teams in the first quarter. Nothing so far here in the second quarter. Here's a fake to Friesen again on a stretch play. Kerr will keep it, though, and dart right up the gut and get about 3 on the play. It's going to bring up third down and about 4. Well, we'll call it 3rd and 3.
And just one thing being down on her here on the field for the last couple plays, Kerr really being patient back there. We don't see him just taking off and hitting the gap. He's following the blocks. A lane opens up, and he makes his way through it.
Big game tonight between Salina Central and Goddard Eisenhower. As we check that score, it is Salina Central 12, Eisenhower 7, midway through the second quarter. Stacked up on the right-hand side, all your receivers at the pitch out to Friesen. Nathan cuts it back, looking for the end zone, crossing the goal line and cashing it in for the second time tonight. Nathan Friesen is in the end zone, this time on his 7th carry. It's a 7-yard touchdown.
And once again, a great job by the wide receivers out here, Wyatt Boyd, Cameron Whitty, everybody just holding on to their blocks and driving through the end zone. One guy met Nathan Friesen about the 3-yard line, and then he took him into the end zone with him.
Boy, that is the thing about these receivers for Southeast of Saline that we're finding out in 2023. They are good blockers. They can be physical out on the edge. Going for 2. Kerr fakes it to Friesen, spins, goes the other way. Now throws one up in the back of the end zone, and it's Tucker Thaxton out jumping a defensive back and hauling it in for his second 2-point conversion of the night. 5:05 left to go here in the second quarter. 32-6. Southeast of Saline leads Beloit on KINA.
Maybe you don't play quarterback or make the highlight reel. Maybe you're not a high school athlete anymore. But just like an athlete, you can get first-class orthopedic care from Saline Ortho. Their doctors and staff strive to get you back to an injury-free, pain-free life as quickly as possible. Saline Ortho has a doctor on call 24/7 for all orthopedic injuries. So next time you're injured, trust the experts at Saline Ortho. Your voice, your choice, past, present, and future. See them online at salineortho.com.
You're listening to Southeast of Saline football on KINA.
Back here at Southeast of Saline, Devin Haney along with Russ Kossel. Good scoring drive there for Southeast of Saline. Capped off on your Marshall Motors scoring drive and a 7-yard touchdown run from Nathan Friesen. It's the second touchdown of the night. Then the 2-point conversion from Daniel Kerr to Tucker Thaxton. 32-6 our score with 5:05 left to go here in the second quarter. Waiting on Beloit to get their return team out there. Wyatt Boyd having a conversation with one of the officials, waiting on the football so he can put it on the kicking tee and kick it away once again. Boy, we thought there for a second, Russ, they were going to have to put Wyatt Boyd on a pitch count, so to speak, because he had kicked off 4 times in the first 5 minutes of this game. But things have calmed down a little bit.
Yeah, kind of slowed down a little bit. And coming off that field after that touchdown, the coaching staff still there, seeing more and more what they can work on. Just a quick congratulations, good job. Here's what I need you to work on next.
Always coaching, always improving. Boyd approaches the football. He's going to angle this one to the right. Beloit back there to take it off the bounce at the 15-yard line. Now to the 20, and then stacked up there, Kenyon Douglas, the first one to arrive, and then a big, big hit for Southeast of Saline by Trey Droege. Boy, he came in and dropped the hammer on the return man for the Trojans.
Yeah, much better job on special teams coverage right there. Of course, when Wyatt Boyd's kicking off and he can place the ball and just let it sit there, it really allows your coverage team to get down.
So from the 20-yard line is where Beloit will start out on this drive, as they find themselves right now in a 26-point hole. It's 32-6, Southeast of Saline. Southeast got out on a quick start. Beloit started with the football. In the first play, they fumbled, but recovered it while losing their quarterback, Quinn Eilert. Second play with new quarterback, fumbled again and lost it. Southeast went and took it down and scored. Here's a mix-up in the backfield. 2 Beloit players run into each other, and then a big, big hit by Tucker Thaxton. Russ, we talk about his speed a lot, but boy, he has really turned in to an intimidating defensive back when he comes up into the hole and greets a runner.
Yeah, much better job filling the hole right there. They did a better job. The offside guard pulled to the other side, and they filled the gap before the guard was able to get there.
Southeast now waiting with their hands on their hips, looking over at the Southeast of Saline sidelines, getting their defensive call. Of course, Beloit taking all the time they need as their quarterback, Jackson Weston, is over talking to the coaching staff. Weston comes running on. It hits the huddle with 5 seconds left on the play clock. And Beloit may have to burn another timeout here, and they will. Second timeout used by the Beloit Trojans. Just too much time that time. They will avoid the delay of game and leave one timeout remaining while we step away for a 30-second timeout. Southeast football here on Eagle Radio.
Frisbee Construction is a service organization for the commercial grain industry dedicated to giving you the best in planning, the best in quality, and the best of workmanship, and overall the best value for your dollar since 1949. Frisbee Construction specializes in new construction as well as remodel and repair of grain handling facilities throughout the Midwest. Frisbee Construction Company in Gypsum has emergency crews available as needed. For more information, go to frisbeeinc.com.
You're listening to Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
This is the first of 3 games here in a row at home for Southeast of Saline. Of course, the schedule flips every year. Same opponents on the same weeks last year for Southeast, but remember, we opened up here at home, then we hit the road for 3 straight games. That will be opposite and be flipped this year. So this is the first game of a 3-game homestand here for the Trojans. And so far, things off to a good start here, leading 32-6.
Yeah, and the big emphasis during that timeout is pressure up the middle, win the line of scrimmage, fill the gaps.
Score update for you between Sacred Heart and Minneapolis. Minneapolis extends their lead now in the second quarter, 14-0. Beloit to the line of scrimmage. Second down and 10. They try to run it up the middle, and that is to no success and no gain on the play. Once again, the carry by Ashton Bletcher, who has had the most carries of any Beloit player tonight.
And it's almost turning into what we saw last year, Devin, with the adjustments at the middle linebacker position. It seems since I've been down here that at least one of the linebackers is blitzing every time.
So now a third down and 10. The last 3 carries for Ashton Bletcher. Since he scored that touchdown, he only has 6 yards. The last 3 carries have been for 0. Here's the play action. They're going to roll out Weston this time. And Jackson Weston has some room, but then Daniel Kerr comes up for some quarterback-on-quarterback crime, and Kerr pounds him down to the turf after a 5-yard gain. It looked like he had more space than that, but that window was slammed shut by Daniel Kerr.
Yeah, he had a wide open on the outside right there, and Kerr doing a great job of closing speed as it looks like Beloit's going to bring on the punting unit.
What a play there by Daniel Kerr. Now he will go back to return this punt. And he has his hands in the air because they're missing a return guy. Cameron Whitty has been back there with him. Now they're just going to run a single return man here. Southeast of Saline is. And this punt is uncorked. It goes over the head of Daniel Kerr inside the 30, inside the 25. Now Kerr picks it up, and the return is on. He needs a block. He gets away from a tackle. Now brings it to midfield and ran out of bounds at the 50-yard line. That's one of those plays I'm sure you don't love. You should just let the ball maybe die, but he had so much space back there, Russ, that he had all the time in the world to pick it up, and he ended up saving about 25 yards.
Yeah, you're exactly right. He looked around and saw he had plenty of time to get it up, beat one guy. Trayton Olson with a great block on the outside on the special teams play to allow him about 10 more yards, but a very, very smart play by Daniel Kerr.
Wow, what a play there by Daniel Kerr. Back-to-back plays by Kerr. And he brings his offense now out on the field. It's going to have a 5-wide look with 3 wide receivers on the long side of the field over on the left, 2 wide receivers to the right. We're waiting on the ball to get placed down here. We're waiting on a football period, as now they throw one on, and the lead official's not going to be playing wide receiver anytime soon. Got away from him.
Yeah, you got to put both hands on it.
I mean, does it look cool when you do it one-handed? Yeah, but if you don't make the catch. First down and 10. Kerr bobbled the snap just a little bit as he looks to the right. Now he's going to power ahead and get 4 yards on first down.
You know, right there it looked like Brody Chambers was beat. The guy got to his inside, and Brody adjusted very well and was able to clear that hole and clear 2 guys out.
Give Kerr 5 on first down. 9 carries, 52 yards. And now a play over to the left-hand side. That is going to be a pass play to Cameron Whitty. Southeast hasn't been passing the ball a lot in this game. That's their 5th completion on 8 attempts. But that one, a successful one there to the 36-yard line. It was a gain of 10 to Whitty. First down and 10 for Southeast. Pushing it into Beloit territory. Here's a screen play out to Friesen. And Friesen could just never really get to that one.
And that's unfortunate because if he was able to get to it, Wyatt Boyd was out here and had a sealed block. If Friesen could have got to the corner in a foot race, I don't know if he would have been caught.
Second down and 10 after the incomplete pass. Now 5 of 9 passing the football for Daniel Kerr. Looking for Friesen on that one. That play on the incomplete pass stops the clock with 2:11 left to go here in the second quarter as we are making our way towards the Knopf Auto and Truck Accessories halftime report. Here's Cameron Whitty in the backfield. He's about 5 yards deep, and then he gets tripped up there. There's a flag on the play, and a bad block against Southeast of Saline.
Yeah, it was Nathan Friesen came back and just clearly got to see the front of the numbers, and he was reading nameplate when he got that block.
So Southeast taking a couple of big steps backwards here. That flag laying down at the 40-yard line. They're going to put the football back at the 46. So back closer to midfield here.
And remember, Southeast deferred to the second half, so they're going to get the football to start the second half.
Yes, sir. Third down. And about 20 for Southeast of Saline. Two receivers and a slot back to the right. Care, play action. Now it's a throwback to Friesen at clear field. Blockers out in front. Friesen runs right into a Beloit tackler at the 40-yard line. Thought he had more space than that. He's only going to get a gain of 6 as he had some blockers out front, but a pesky Beloit defender got through and made the tackle on Nathan Friesen.
I think he made the wrong cut. The lane was there on the outside. They had everybody sealed inside the numbers, and he chose to cut back inside. If possibly he gets to the outside right there, he may get 6.
Advanced it to the 40-yard line with 1:30 left to go. Southeast of Saline has 2 timeouts remaining if they choose to stop the clock. It's 3rd and 14. Probably see what happens here. Empty backfield for Care. Looking left the whole way. He unleashes it down the left-hand sideline for Tucker Thaxton. Thaxton burns the defensive back and takes it into the end zone. Tucker Thaxton does it again, this time on a dime drop from Daniel Care, 40 yards away.
And just a great job by that offensive line to allow Daniel Care to set his feet and throw it up. Really not bad coverage on the far side of the field, but Tucker Thaxton, just a great job. Now in 2 catches for 2 touchdowns at 110 yards receiving in those 2 catches.
Tucker Thaxton's turning into a problem. 110 yards and 2 touchdowns for the junior. Now the 2-point conversion. Care fakes it to Friesen. Now he steps through on the right. Big collision at the goal line. And Care lost the football as it goes into the end zone. And they're going to say it's no good.
Well, they never made a call. They
never did.
The white hat just made the call right there.
Let's step away before we hit halftime. We still have 76 seconds left to go. Beloit will have an opportunity when we come back. It's 38-6, Southeast of Saline. As you listen to it, brought to you by our friends at Assyria Oil and Hardware on KINA.
Don't get caught on empty. Fill up on all your basic needs at Assyria Oil and Hardware. We want to be sure you are fueled up and ready for whatever may be around the corner, no matter what time of day. Now live at Assyria Oil and Hardware, 24/7 pumps. No matter what time of day or night, your gas and diesel tanks can rely on us. During regular business hours, you can get your favorite pizza and snacks to have enough energy to win the day. Assyria Oil and Hardware, located in Assyria at the corner of Center and Main. We'll fill you up.
You are listening to Southeast Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Back here at Steve Fritz Field on the campus of Southeast of Saline High School. Southeast scores again, another touchdown, 38-6. And your Marshall Motors scoring drive for Southeast of Saline of 6 plays ends up in a 40-yard bomb down the left-hand sideline. Remember, that was on 3rd down, too.
Yeah, and the coaching staff still wearing out the official over here because his body was across the end zone line and still was never made a call, and Gebhardt was not happy with the explanation he got.
Here's the kickoff by Wyatt Boyd. Over to the right-hand side again. Boyd will take it at about the 16-yard line. Out to the 20, 25, and then a stone wall provided there by Southeast of Saline. A big hit coming in by Southeast of Saline. And once again, we're going to have to keep a watch on this guy, Russ, because it's junior Trey Droege.
Yeah, once again, he come down, and you're exactly right. Just stonewalled the returner right there, right about the 21-yard line. So 1:06 left. Southeast got 2 timeouts. If you can get a quick stop here and then burn those 2 timeouts and maybe have some time left to put another score on the board.
At the 24-yard line, as you said, 1:06 left to go. But Beloit does not have that quick strike offense capability. At least we haven't seen it so far. They're going to put a late player onto the field to fill out their roster here on offense. It's running back Brody Schroeder. 1st down and 10. They will hand it off and lose a yard on the right-hand side with Jennings Sloan.
Yeah, and Southeast going to burn a timeout right there on that loss play. But really, Devin, the defensive line right there, I noticed on that play, Beloit is just submarining them, just chopping their legs off. And that time, Josiah Monday able to overstep that. So maybe it's something, the adjustments that this defensive line has made, because in the last offensive series, the offensive line for Beloit is just going straight for the legs and cutting them down.
And that is always a concern of injury. You have teams that they just play like that, and it's kind of like a zone blocking scheme. The Denver Broncos did it for years, back when Terrell Davis was running back and they were going to Super Bowls and things of that nature. But it is a concern when it comes to injuries and things of that nature. I want to remind you of the Scarecrow Scramble 5K run or walk. Easy for me to say, on October 21st. It's part of the Gypsum Fall Festival. You can get a full schedule of events, of all the activities planned for the Gypsum Fall Fest on the Facebook page of Gypsum Fall Festival. Once again, that is coming up October 21st. The registration fee is $25 for this 5K run or walk, and it is due by October 6th. So even though the festival in Gypsum is not till the 21st, you have to have your registration in for the run or walk by October 6th. Second down and 11 for Beloit. Schroeder tries the right-hand side, now steps it back, has a crease, and he's going to come ahead for about 10 yards and make it 3rd down and 1. And they will stop the clock momentarily to move the chains, as it is a first down for Beloit. Call it a gain of 11.
Yeah, and I think Beloit's going to be content here to maybe, if they can break a play, they'll break it, but I don't think they have any timeouts left.
They do not. From the line of scrimmage, first down and 10, 35 seconds left to go. They sneak it to the first man through. That is Ashton Bletcher, and he will get no gain on the play. 8 carries, 33 yards for Bletcher. Schroeder, the leading rusher after that last carry that he just had, he has 36 yards for Beloit. That's been pretty much their offense, as we will have all those numbers for you coming up here at the half in about 11 seconds. Beloit does not have to run a play if they do not want to, and we will stand by and have comments coming up from head coach Mitch Gebhardt. They'll be brought to you on the field, courtesy of Frisbee Construction. So a little bit of a celebration there by Southeast of Saline after their first 2 quarters of play as we hit the half. 38-6, just one touchdown yielded by the Trojan defense from Southeast of Saline, and they outscored Beloit 14-0 in that second quarter. A couple of big plays. Daniel Kerr down the left-hand sideline both times to Tucker Thaxton, and the defense, other than that one drive, been pretty solid. Here's Coach Gebhardt.
Coach, 38-6 into the first half. Your overall thoughts?
Well, I think defensively we've done a pretty darn good job. Score 38 points is good. I mean, I'm not complaining about it, but I think we can clean some stuff up and do some things better on the offensive side. I thought our special teams last week, our kickoff team didn't do things the way they should and things like that. And I thought we've done a better job tonight with our kickoff team.
Yeah, you said that really the only special team mistake there was that muff punt. Probably should have let it go. But offensively, your thoughts on the performance of Daniel Kerr throwing the football?
Yeah, I think he's done well. He missed a couple that he should have hit, to be honest with you. But he's thrown a nice deep ball at least twice to Tucker that I can remember. And then his other passes have been pretty good. But 2 or 3 places there he's missed a gap.
All right, Coach, thank you. Good luck second half.
You bet.
We are at halftime, 38-6. Southeast of Saline leading. When we come back, we'll check numbers of the first half for you. We will also have a conversation right after the break with head volleyball coach Jillian Rathbun. It's coming up, and it's brought to you by our friends at Knopf Auto and Truck Accessories. Halftime is here on KINA as the Trojans lead a big 38-6.
Knopf Auto and Truck Accessories. Everything to bling out your ride in one place, including top quality lift kits, wheels and tires, bumpers, Jeep accessories, fender flares, bed covers, bed liners, step bars, even custom painting. Knopf Auto is the and soil dealer and has many synthetics and filters in stock. Visit Knopf Auto on Facebook for specials, great ideas, and let them make your truck stick out in a crowd. Knopf Auto and Truck Accessories, supporting the Southeast of Saline Trojans.
1, 2, 3, fight! It is 3rd down and 8 for the Trojans. They really need to make the right call here.
During the football game, it's crucial to make the right call. And in real estate, one call can bring a positive outcome from your real estate experience. Whether you're looking for rural property, upsizing to make room for the family, downsizing, or acquiring investment property, call Winnell Garrettson at SalinaHomes.com.
What a call! Touchdown, Trojan!
Buy or sell, call Winnell.
Looking to take the next step in your career? Consider an MBA from Kansas Wesleyan. You can complete the program fully online in as little as 1 year, and your last class is free. Want to be a part of one of the region's fastest growing universities? Visit kwu.edu/MBA today. That's kwu.edu/MBA.
Salina Regional's Orthopedic and Sports Medicine is your home field advantage. Our physicians include sports medicine physician Dr. Matthew Pyle, along with orthopedic surgeons Drs. Travis Rump and Todd Riley, plus an A-team of certified athletic trainers and physical therapists. We're ready when you need us to help prevent injuries, enhance performance, or to heal through surgery and rehabilitation. For area athletes to weekend warriors, the home field advantage starts at Salina Regional Orthopedic and Sports Medicine.
Citizens State Bank has been serving Kansans for over 100 years. We're a full-service bank that can service your personal, business, and agricultural lending and deposit needs. Citizens State Bank offers 24/7 convenience with mobile deposit, online banking, and our ATM conveniently located in front of the building. Stop by and see our friendly and helpful staff. Citizens State Bank at 600 Maple Street in Gypsum, Kansas. Citizens State Bank and Trust Company is a proud supporter of the Southeast of Saline Trojans.
This is the Trojan Halftime Report. Coming up, a first half recap, stats, interviews, and a look at other area games. Let's head back to the stadium for Trojan Halftime on KINA.
Back here on the Knopf Auto and Truck Accessories Halftime Report, I'm Tyler Henry, and it's time to catch up with new SES head volleyball coach Julianne Rathbun, presented by Winnell Garrettson at SalinaHomes.com. Coach, first and foremost, thank you so much for taking some time and stopping by the show.
Sure, thanks for having me.
So before we get into your team, I was curious. I know you were here as an assistant coach a season ago, but what has the response been like from the Southeast of Saline community as you've kind of stepped into this new role and gotten settled in as head coach?
Yeah, they have been very supportive. It was a little bit of a surprise, I guess, coming into the season. And so having lots of support coming from players and parents and the community has been nice to, feel good stepping into this role and knowing that we have lots of help and lots of grace going forward as we kind of get rolling.
I like asking all of our new coaches in the area this early on in year one, but from a broader standpoint, outside of just the wins and losses this year, what would you say is kind of your vision for the culture of volleyball at Southeast of Saline?
Yeah, that's a great question. We talk a lot about culture and, that it is more than just wins and losses. I want these girls to know what it is to be successful. And in order to do that, we have to be gritty. We have to have great attitude, great effort. Those are the two words that we've talked about most this year is attitude plus effort. And when you have great attitude and great effort, there's really not much you can't do. Volleyball is such a roller coaster, emotional kind of sport. You can win big, you can lose big, whether you're good or not good. Whether you're playing NCAA volleyball or you're playing high school volleyball, it's all the same. And so getting them to be consistently great effort and feeling like they can win is our goal right now. We want them to want success, breed success, feel it, and go after it. We also talk about kind of like a blood in the water type mentality. We want them to feel that, to be hungry and go get wins.
Well, you guys have already played out the first couple weeks of your season here, and I know you've picked up a couple of big victories as well. But, overall, what would you say has been kind of the best thing that you've seen volleyball-wise out of your team here in the early goings of the campaign?
The thing that I really felt like is just a big jump from last year's my only experience with the girls, but you can tell that over the course of the winter, spring, and summer, girls have played a lot of volleyball, and I feel like their volleyball knowledge has really increased along with their skills. And volleyball is, when you get to the higher levels, it's such a game that requires knowledge and reading and situational awareness. It's no longer just can I hit or not hit, it's where should I hit, how should I hit it, and how hard should I hit it. So that has been exciting to see them grow as a team in their volleyball knowledge and court awareness.
You had mentioned earlier, but it's so true. Volleyball especially, I mean, it's such an emotional sport. There are a lot of swings as far as the highs and the lows go. And I know because of that, I mean, like any sport, but especially in volleyball, leadership plays a big role. So, I mean, who are some of the folks that are kind of your veteran leaders that are kind of those field generals for you out there on the court?
We have a great core of girls coming back this year. 2 seniors who have been on the court for several years now are Brielle and Lexi, and they are wonderful leaders by example. We're encouraging them to be vocal leaders as well. It's not a role that they've necessarily had to have, and now they get to have it. And there's other girls stepping up as well, ones who have had more of the example type, put in the work but not necessarily say anything roles. They're starting to step up vocally as well. Players like Macy Bunch and Christina Wingo they are stepping up and encouraging their teammates to do the same.
I know it's kind of a strange question to ask a coach 2 weeks into their season, but I'm sure you guys had a chance to talk it over before the year got started. I mean, what are kind of the goals and expectations, not only that you have placed on this team, but that this team has kind of set out for themselves to accomplish here in 2023?
Yeah, we had an extensive conversation during our boot camp about this, and it really goes back to the culture of the team. You know, when I ask them what their goals are, they want to do better than last year, which is awesome. I want them to do better too, but I want to tweak that, and I want them to think more about winning. You know, not just do better in our home tournament. I want them to think about winning our home tournament, not just do better at sub-state. I want them to think about winning sub-state. So it's I do place high expectations on these girls because I think they need it. I think they need somebody to believe in them and push them and encourage them to go beyond what they think they can do. And I think we'll be really great when we start realizing that and running with it.
Well, you alluded to it a moment ago, and let's go ahead and just address it. I mean, coming up this Saturday, you've got your big home tournament. As I understand, some really good volleyball competition that'll be at that'll give you guys a really good challenge. Talk me through some of kind of the opponents on the slate and what you can expect to see out of them.
We do have a great slate coming up on Saturday. There are teams who are ranked in 2A, 3A, and 4A who will be there. I think maybe 6 out of the 8 are ranked this year, preseason at least. Week 1 rankings should be coming out soon, but we will have the same people coming back from last year. So Abilene and Circle are both ranked in 4A. Hillsboro's ranked in 2A. Beloit in 3A and Smoky Valley as well. Then we'll have Saline South here, they've put up some wins already. But really, it's a tough slate, and it will be some exciting volleyball to watch. No matter what court you're watching, it'll be good play.
Well, and before we let you go, I just wanted to kind of open up the floor to you to see if you had anything that you want to plug as far as community events, but also so you can let people know when they can come out to Southeast of Saline and support your team, or any other ways that they can help you support your program.
Yes, we would love to have the community come out and watch us play and cheer us on. The girls have been talking a lot about, getting some excitement from the community and getting excitement from the students in a bigger student section, and, just wanting that atmosphere to develop in our gym, just like it is for, the football team and the basketball teams, just filling the place and making it loud. Okay, so coming up for our home games, we'll have Minneapolis at home on Tuesday the 19th. And then our senior night will be the next Tuesday, the 26th of September, against Beloit. And then we won't have any home games during October. So we would love to have the community come out and support us here early in the season and get some excitement going. We'll be doing some fun things during our matches, throwing out some little volleyballs to the crowd and doing some raffles of T-shirts and whatnot. So we would love just to have the community come out and support us and be loud.
Sounds good. Well, Coach, thank you so much for stopping by, and best of luck to you guys in a big weekend tournament here at Southeast this Saturday.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right, that was head SES volleyball coach Julianne Rathbun, presented by 1L Garrettson at SalinaHomes.com. And again, be sure to come on out to the campus of Southeast of Saline this Saturday. It's the home volleyball tournament, again in Gypsum. Coming up next, more of the Knauf Auto and Truck Accessories halftime report and the second half between Southeast and Beloit. It's all right around the corner, so don't go anywhere. You're listening to Trojan Football on KINA.
Knauf Auto and Truck Accessories. Everything to bling out your ride in one place, including top
quality lift kits, wheels and tires, bumpers, Jeep accessories, fender flares, bed covers, bed liners, step bars, even custom painting. Knopf Auto is the and soil dealer and has many synthetics and filters in stock. Visit Knopf Auto on Facebook for specials, great ideas, and let them make your truck stick out in a crowd. Knopf Auto and Truck Accessories, supporting the southeast of Saline Trojans.
APAC Kansas Incorporated has been building the Heartland from the ground up for over a century. From the supply of aggregate materials, hot mix asphalt, and concrete to the construction of roads and bridges, we do it all. You've seen our trucks, and now we want to hire you. APAC in Salina is growing, and we are hiring for all positions. From truck drivers to mechanics, general laborers, and construction, APAC has your next career. For more details, visit the job links page at salinapost.com. Great pay and benefits, APAC is an equal opportunity employer.
Stardust Trophy Downtown Salina has all the cool football medals and trophies your team needs for its players when their practice session pays off in big wins. Choose from tons of trophy styles and customize it exactly as you want. Stardust Trophy even has special trophies just for fantasy football leagues. Just for fun, choose football bobblehead trophies. Got an autographed or special football? Show it off in a special acrylic showcase from Stardust Trophy. 121 South Santa Fe, downtown Salina.
Home Automotive Center in Abilene and Salina has been named Dealer Rater in 2023 for Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC. What's that mean? It means when you buy a vehicle at Home Automotive, you will receive the absolute best in service now for the 11th consecutive year in Abilene and the first for the new Salina location. Home Automotive just keeps exceeding your expectations because you are the number one priority, and that is just one reason why. When you shop at Home Automotive Center in Abilene and Salina, you're going to be glad you did.
The Appliance Center. It's where you go to shop for washers, dryers, kitchen appliances, furniture, pellet grills, TVs, and so much more. If you are looking for a local, family-owned business, visit the Appliance Center. We're in the big red and white building on South Broadway in Salina. Come experience the Appliance Center difference.
Salina Post and KINA, your home for all things Trojan. The southeast of Saline Trojan sports stream live on the Salina Post, and you can always listen at 910 AM, 107.5 FM, or at 910KINA.com.
You're listening to Southeast of Saline football on KINA.
Back here on the campus of Southeast of Saline High School, halftime, Southeast leading it over the Beloit Trojans, 38-6. Time now to take a check of stats from the first half, brought to you by the Citizen State Bank. In downtown Gypsum, you want to bank where the Trojans bank, and that is in downtown Gypsum at Citizen State Bank. For the Beloit Trojans, they have 0 passing yards. They have not put a pass in the air yet. They ran what looked to be a passing play when it was blown up by Grady Gebhardt on a quarterback sack. Rushing the football, 8 carries, 33 yards for Ashton Bletcher, 6 carries, 36 yards for Brody Schroeder. Everybody else just kind of chipping in there on their way to a team total of 87 yards. That is their offensive total at halftime. Southeast of Saline has 250 yards of total offense here at the break. Daniel Kerr, 7 of 11 throwing the football, 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. He has thrown for 145 yards. His main target right now, Tucker Thaxton, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns, 110 yards. Cameron Whitty, 3 catches, 19 yards. Nathan Friesen, 2 catches, 16 yards. On the rushing front, right now, 52 yards on 9 carries for Daniel Kerr. He leads the team. 7 carries, 38 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Nathan Friesen. Cameron Whitty has a carry for 15 yards. Once again, 105 rushing, 145 passing, 250 total yards for Southeast of Saline here at the half. That leaded 38-6. Take a 1-minute timeout. When we come back, we will have third quarter action for you. We'll also have a check of the Bennington State Bank scoreboard. That's all coming up when we come back after a 1-minute break on KINA.
Knopf Auto and Truck Accessories. Everything to bling out your ride in one place, including top quality lift kits, wheels and tires, bumpers, Jeep accessories, fender flares, bed covers, bed liners, step bars, even custom painting. Knopf Auto is the and soil dealer and has many synthetics and filters in stock. Visit Knopf Auto on Facebook for specials, great ideas, and let them make your truck stick out in a crowd. Knopf Auto and Truck Accessories, supporting the southeast of Saline Trojans.
Does your free checking put more cash in your account? Does it give you free access to ATMs nationwide? If not, tap into super-powered free Kasasa Cash Banking Checking at the Bank of Tesket. Visit bankoftesket.com to learn more. Qualifications, rules, and limitations apply. Rates, rewards, and restrictions may vary by account. Contact the Bank of Tesket for details. Member FDIC.
We're growing your way.
the bank of Teskent.
You're listening to Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Southeast of Saline leading 38-6. More scores on the Bennington State Bank scoreboard with Russ.
Scores around the area tonight. These are all halftime scores at the latest update. Ellsworth 56-0 over Republic County. A perennial power in 2A. Nemaha Central 48-0 over Royal Valley. Cheney 20, Garden Plain 14. Marion and Sterling tied at 0 at the half. I understand there has been some scoring in the third quarter of that game. El Saline 12, Hanover 8. Wamego 42, Marysville nothing.
Yeah.
Concordia, Abilene 28, Concordia 7. Salina South at Derby 35, South nothing. Clay Center 34, Chapman nothing. Up in Minneapolis leads Sacred Heart 14-0 at the half. Goddard Eisenhower over Salina Central 20-12. And last week's opponent for Southeast of Saline, Rock Creek on top of St. Mary's 26-6. And those are the scores from the Bennington State Bank scoreboard.
Rock Creek leading the defending champion in Class 1A, St. Mary's. Big. Couple things I heard in there. It sounds like at the half, and things can change, Minneapolis, Ellsworth, Abilene, Clay Center, all in the area, all looking to go to 2-0.
Yeah, which is a big turnaround, especially for that Abilene Cowboys program who had struggled throughout the years, finally got off that multiple-year loss streak and got some games won last year, was able to host a playoff game, and I know they're expecting big things once again from the Abilene Cowboys in Class 4A.
Waiting on the time to expire here so we can get going in the third quarter. Southeast of Saline, 38-6. Big first half for Southeast. 4 fumbles for Beloit that were lost. What do you think here in the second half, Russ? Your new image audio keys to success here.
I think you got to do a better job of the run up the middle. We saw it a few times where if they break free, being down there, I see what the offensive line is doing right now. And the linebacking core has adjusted nicely, especially Grady Gebhardt taking leadership out there of stepping in and filling gaps and directing traffic.
Here's the kickoff by Beloit. Be to the right-hand side of the field. Cameron Whitty will field it over there at the 15. He brings it to the near side of the 20, drug down from behind between the 25 and 30-yard lines. It looks like Southeast of Saline will start their first drive of the second half at their own 27-yard line. A 32-point lead to protect here for Southeast of Saline.
And I think you don't change much on the offensive side of the ball. You heard Coach Gebhardt at the half saying we should have had more. Kerr missed a few passes, threw that one interception that probably should have been a touchdown if he would have let him. So look for much more of the same from Southeast.
Kerr in the shotgun, Friesen directly behind him. They run it straight up the gut. Friesen's jersey being grabbed from behind, and he is going to tumble ahead for a gain of 4 on his 8th carry of the night. 2 touchdowns in the first half for Nathan Friesen.
Much better job of the offensive line right there getting a push. Looked like they won the line of scrimmage on that play, allowed Friesen to get a couple yards before contact was made, but Friesen is earning every yard he has had tonight.
Thaxton, Boyd, Whitty, all to the left-hand side as wide receivers. They run it again to Friesen, straight up the gut to the 35, now the 36. The ball came out, but he was well down, and that will bring up a 3rd down and 3 for Southeast of Saline.
And see what these receivers can do in the second half. To see, when I was down there, the wind was starting to die down a little bit. As long you get the ball up in the air, the flags are still moving pretty good, but down on the field level, the wind has really died down.
3rd and 3 from the 35-yard line. Here's the give again to Friesen. He breaks out, second level, narrowly broke out of another tackle, but he was got by the shoelaces. And Nathan Friesen showing that explosion as he came out of the pack and nearly took it to the 50-yard line. Out to the 49. Big carry there by Friesen.
And that's 3 consecutive carries by Friesen, but not only that, it looked like 3 consecutive play calls of the exact same play. You can't stop it. Keep running it.
16 yards so far on this drive. Here's Whitty, lost the football on the handoff. It's on the ground. Beloit and Southeast both in a scrum after, and it looks like Whitty will get it back as he was just kind of had a handoff there that went bad between him and Kerr. That ball popped straight up in the air. And Southeast of Saline will lose 2 yards on that. Going back to the 46-yard line, they're actually going to say it's a loss of 3.
And let's go back to last week. It's been a much better job of getting the exchange from center to quarterback. We saw Care last week bending down over, disrupting timing. Much better job this week.
2nd down and 13. Pitch out to Friesen. Left-hand side has Watkins out there to lead blocking for him. Friesen's going to tap the brakes, then come across the 50-yard line, end up at the 47 on the other side, maybe the 48 on a gain of about 6 yards.
And how good is Daniel Care going around the outside on either side of the corner? You look like he's going to run dead out of bounds, and he just plants that foot and finds that extra 3 to 4 yards.
Care with an empty backfield this time. He's going to throw it to the right-hand side and taking that football in right at the sticks on a 3rd down play is Cameron Whitty at the 42-yard line. And they're going to say 4th and short.
Man, it almost looked like a rough spot right there. It looked like the ball had traveled another yard and a half, and that play time was a little disrupted. Wyatt Boyd never really got off the line of scrimmage. He was still checking with the officials to see if it was set, and Daniel Care was looking for him.
From the 42, it's 4th and a yard. Whitty comes under the formation. They give it on the delay to Friesen. He has the 1st down and then some as he is rolling into the 36-yard line. A gain of 6 and another 4th down conversion for Southeast of Saline. Nathan Friesen on his 11th carry of the night, averaging 6 yards a carry.
Do you really go anywhere else? I mean, we saw Friesen with the first 3 carries on the same 3 plays, and you got a half yard, 1 yard to go. Just bring a guy in motion and just hand it off to number 3.
A statement drive potentially here by Southeast of Saline to open the second half. They lead at 38-6. 1st down and 10. Fake to Whitty coming across. Care's going to keep it. Naked bootleg. Rolls out to the left. Has 5 yards, 10 yards. Has more. Down the left-hand sideline. From the 25-yard line in. Daniel Care is going to cash this one in on another big play score for Southeast of Saline. This one comes from 37 yards away.
And a great play call right there to run the wide receiver Wyatt Boyd in motion. Fake handoff, fake pitch the same way, kind of a little naked bootleg to run out. Got to the outside, had one guy to beat, tiptoed the tightrope at about the 4 or 5 yard line, was able to get in the corner of the end zone.
67-yard drive for Southeast as they go for 2. It's Care straight up the gut, holding the football out, diving ahead, and he is going to take it to the bank. Another score for Southeast of Saline. They go up now 46-6 with 8:38 left to play in the 3rd quarter. It's a statement drive for Southeast of Saline as we start the second half here on KINA.
When does normal acute pain become abnormal chronic pain? Chronic pain can be one of 2 types, nociceptive and neuropathic. Each type differs based on what causes it, what it feels like, and what treatments may relieve it. Neuropathic pain can often be managed by a therapy called neurostimulation or spinal cord stimulation. If you suffer from chronic pain, ask your primary care physician for a referral to the Saline Pain Clinic. Our pain specialists will discuss the right options to manage your pain. Online at salinapainclinic.org.
You are listening to Southeast Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Another score for Southeast of Saline, a 67-yard drive that went 8 plays and ended up with a Daniel Care 37-yard touchdown run. It's the second touchdown run of the night. The first one was of 27 yards, and that Marshall Motors scoring drive capped off there by the Southeast of Saline quarterback, Daniel Care.
Yeah, and a great job by that whole offensive unit in that whole series. You know, you had that one mistake with that fumble. You were able to recover it, and I'm sure if there's one thing wrong with that drive, that was it. And a great opening statement as we're getting in dangerous territory of a running clock.
Daniel Care has been in on 4 touchdowns tonight. He has 2 throwing and now 2 running the football. And here's a kick by Wyatt Boyd that's going to go through the hands of a Beloit return man and then does the worst thing possible. It bounces out of bounds. Boy, that was a beautiful kick by Wyatt Boyd. But the circumstance with the football took it out of bounds, and you can't really fault the kicker for Southeast of Saline for that. That kick was gorgeous.
Yeah, you did everything right there. It just took on that last little roll. It kind of caught the point of the football and took a hard right as now Beloit will have it at their own 35-yard line.
So Beloit starting out here, their first drive of the second half. Southeast of Saline has already set the tone, going down the field, taking about half the quarter and going up now by 40 points. It's 46-6. We have a sighting of a wide receiver for Beloit for one of the few times tonight. They're still going to hand it off, though, in the backfield, trying to run the stretch play, and they lose a couple of yards on first down.
Yeah,
with the carry that time was Joel Rexroth.
Great job by Daniel Kerr reading that, getting off the block and getting out there, making a great open field tackle to once again put this all-run offense in a second and behind the sticks.
Second 12 coming up here for the Beloit Trojans. Beloit wanting to run it again and blown up in the backfield. A couple of the backs that were carrying out fakes, and then Beloit fumbles it again, trying to get more yardage. They're going to say the runner was down as it was Ashton Bletcher coughing up the football after a gain of about 9 yards. Yep. They say he is down and did not lose the football.
Yeah, real close right there. You know, trying to get them extra yards. That's real close for the football to being out, to being another forced fumble for this Southeast defense. Now, big 3rd down and 2 here to go.
3rd down and a long 2. They need to get across the 45-yard line to move the chains. Delayed handoff here, and it's going to get about a yard. Stumbling ahead that time was Joel Rexroth as he gets a yard. 5 carries, 7 yards for Rexroth tonight, and it's 4th down and a healthy yard and a half.
And you're going to have to stay disciplined right here. We've already seen Southeast give up 2 first downs by jumping off sides into the neutral zone, so you have to stay disciplined and watch the ball.
Our current score of 46-6, awfully reminiscent of the final last year of 43-6. Still have a quarter and a half left to go. 4th down and 1. Beloit sprinting to the line of scrimmage. First guy through, trying to get it. I thought the quarterback still had it, but they're going to put it in the hands of Ashton Bletcher, and he did not get the first down. A healthy yard short of the line to gain there at the 45-yard line, so a turnover on downs here for the Beloit Trojans. And Southeast of Saline takes over the football in Beloit territory at the 44.
And big Brody Chambers did not get the tackle right there, but when you consume 3 guys in the middle and clog that up, 100% give the assist at 75.
Eats up a lot of blocks up there up front. Lets Monday and those guys do what they need to do. Southeast now flips back to offense. Daniel Kerr has Nathan Friesen to his left hip. First down and 10 at the Beloit 44-yard line. To your wide receivers right-hand side. Kerr looking that way. Now he goes back to the left. He may leave the pocket, directing traffic. Slips through a Beloit tackle and then gets about a 3-yard tackle over there on the Beloit sideline as he was tackled up high by the Beloit defender.
Yeah, and I don't know if he just didn't have time or didn't see him, but Evan Watkins was streaking in that slot position just wide open down the middle of the field.
Kerr gets 2 yards on his 11th carry of the night. 91 yards unofficially for the Southeast quarterback. 2nd down and 8. Go back to 2 receivers on the right-hand side. They fake it to Friesen. Now a quick pitch out to Thaxton. Thaxton nearly slipped out of the grasp of a Beloit tackler, but Beloit able to get him there after a modest gain of about 2 yards. Brody Schroeder there to make the tackle for the Beloit Trojans. 3rd down and 6.
Yeah, great open field tackle by Brody Schroeder right there, because Thaxton was just a half step away from slipping that and then onto another track meet.
Could have been another long reception for Thaxton, but it's going to be held to just a 2-yard gain. 3rd down and 6 at the 40 for Southeast. Kerr fakes the handoff to Friesen, rolling out, throws it in one motion to the 30-yard line. Cameron Woody sidesteps a tackler, and he's down at the 25. First down, Southeast of Saline. Cameron Woody on the pitch and catch from Daniel Kerr.
Yeah, and Woody put a move right there on Joel Rexroth, and I think Woody might have about shaking himself out of his own shoes, not alone Rexroth's, but a great job right there. Great execution on 3rd down.
17 yards for Cameron Woody. He has the most catches of anyone tonight for Southeast of Saline. 5 catches, 42 yards. Now a run up the gut for Southeast of Saline, and a flag comes in as Friesen has the carry of about 4 or 5 yards. We'll have to see what the flag is, and it's going to be a hold against Southeast of Saline. So Southeast will have to pay the piper there. I know that's one thing that Mitch Gebhardt said they really needed to clean up. He didn't like the 3 turnovers a week ago, but he didn't like the penalties either.
Yeah, and that looked like it came from about the right end position. Not sure who's out there. It looks like we've got some offensive changes on the offensive line side of the ball here.
Watkins is a slot back. They're going to blow this one dead before it gets started.
I don't think the official had put his whistle in play yet.
Okay. Line of scrimmage at the 35 for Southeast of Saline as we work our way through third quarter. 5:38 left to go. 46-6 is our score. First down and 20 for SES.
Looks like you got Kendall Miniman in there, Trayton Olson, Drew Weller, Evan Watkins over there playing the slot. Some wholesale changes up front for Southeast.
Nathan Weller in there. Still playing center. Things changing around him.
A lot of confusion there. Looked like a timeout by Southeast of Saline.
It is a timeout. We will take it as well. Stepping aside with 5:37 left to go here in the third quarter, 46-6, Southeast of Saline on KINA.
Troublesome car repair and everyone has told you it cannot be fixed or it's way too expensive? Try McKim Auto Service in Gypsum, Kansas. They quick, dependable work and provide the lowest hourly rate in the area. McKim Auto will service your vehicle from front to back and everything in between. They treat you and your car like a friend or even family. McKim Service specializes in engine and transmission rebuild. 701 Maple, Gypsum, Kansas. Wouldn't trust anyone else with my family car. So, if your repair seems grim, remember McKim. Give them a call today to make your appointment.
You're listening to Southeast of Saline football on KINA.
Back here at Southeast of Saline. Grabbed a bottle of water during the break there, Russ. I got LNL advisors on it.
Just all over the field out here.
First down and 20 for Southeast of Saline. At the Beloit 35-yard line. Here's Daniel Kerr running off to the left-hand side, bouncing off a couple of Beloit tacklers, ends up inside the 30 at the 29-yard line, and a gain of 6 for Daniel Kerr.
And a great job reading right there. The little option play between him and Friesen out to the left side, and he saw nobody up the field, so he immediately turned it up. A best decision he could have made right there. Now Southeast is going to go 5 wide receivers.
5 total, 3 to the right, 2 to the left. Now Friesen comes in motion. He'll take the handoff on the jet sweep, go from left to right. He has some space. Not only does he have space, he has a touchdown. Nathan Friesen outrunning the angle of the Beloit defenders will put this one in the end zone from 30 yards away. It is touchdown number 3 for Nathan Friesen tonight.
And I feel like we've talked about it a lot. This receiving core, especially Wyatt Boyd and Cameron Whitty, where they seem to be running to a great job of containing their blocks on the outside, allowing Friesen to find the opening, and now it looks like we're going to see the rare extra point attempt from Southeast of Saline. Off the foot of Wyatt Boyd, Daniel Kerr with the hold. Like a snap coming from Trayton Olson.
They don't do this often. Attempted 11 extra points a year ago, and this kick is going to sail low and right and be no good. They're 6 of 11 last season on extra point attempts. So the point after, left out there on the field for just the second time tonight with 5 minutes left to go in the third. It is Southeast of Saline 52, Beloit 6. Back with more here on KINA.
Your husband is pretty handy to have around. He makes the world's best mac and cheese. He's in the Tickle Monster Hall of Fame. And he can teach anyone how to throw strikes. But a busted pipe in a basement full of water?
Honey, I think we need a plumber.
Is a little out of his league. That's where a homeowner's policy from Shelter Insurance comes in handy. We'll help get your house back in order and your husband back to what he does best.
Hey Salina, come see us at the Kelly Kitchener Agency near the intersection of Cloud and Ohio. We want to be your Salina, Kansas insurance agent.
You're listening to Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Senior tailback Nathan Friesen, 3 touchdowns, rushing the football tonight, making up for not finding the end zone last week. Friesen had 16 rushing touchdowns last season as a junior.
And that drive set up by that big 4th and 1 stop by the Trojan defense to allow the offense once again to put together a great drive.
Wyatt Boyd has his hand in the air. He's ready to kick it away again, and he will do so to the right-hand side of the field. Back at the 11-yard line, Beloit will take it 15 to the 20. Now angling back to the outside at the 30-yard line. He is greeted there and taken down. Canyon Douglas again on the tackle as he continues to play well in this game. Beloit will start out at their own 32-yard line.
And I think so far, Coach Mitch Gebhardt really wanted special teams to be a focus. And when you score this many points, you're going to get a lot of opportunities for improvement on special teams. And I think overall, especially on the kickoff side, has done an extremely great job.
And big plays, too, by the Southeast offense tonight. 20-plus yard runs, a couple of big passing bombs for touchdowns. Their scores have come on big plays. They have not really had a sustained drive. Here's the carry by the Beloit quarterback trying to stretch it to the outside, and he's going to lose about 3 yards. Jackson Weston on that carry.
And I think the big difference between, Jackson Weston's doing as well as he can, obviously was not expected to play quarterback when Quinn Eilert gets hurt in the first play of the game, but Quinn Eilert has that breakaway speed. On plays like that, he's able to get around the corner, and Jackson just not able to do that.
And it's tough, too, when you start out 5 yards deep in the backfield. You got to make that up before you can even start talking about positive yards. Back to the 30 here, Beloit. They're going to hand it off straight up the middle. This will go nowhere again for Beloit. They're going to have a 3rd down and long, staring them in the face once again. Football staying at the 30-yard line.
Give credit to about 6 Southeast of Saline defenders right there on that tackle. Looked like Grady Gebhardt was the one getting up off the bottom of the pile. Has played that middle linebacker position very, very well in these first 2 games of the year, which is no surprise to any of us.
Starting to see some guys moving around again on defense. Deacon Byer right now, the nose tackle. Here's the handoff. It goes to Schroeder, and Schroeder lost the football again. This could be Beloit's 5th fumble lost of the game. Southeast of Saline saying they have it. Wyatt Boyd's at the bottom of that pile, and no signal from the official, and it looks like it's going to be 4th down and about 14 coming up, maybe even 15 for the Beloit Trojans. Boy, that ball's been slippery for him tonight.
Yeah, they're going to say he didn't really lose anything on that play, even though the pile was about 4 yards behind that, and they're going to bring on the punting unit. But the last 2 plays, you see Grady Gebhardt getting up off the pile, but what you really see is 5 offensive linemen laying on the ground, not able to get any push.
Yeah, those guys up front on the defensive line for Southeast playing well tonight. They are really the first line of resistance in this game, with the way the Beloit plays. Here's a punt that goes up. It's going to bounce at the 45, then go on the roll into the hands of Whitty. He gets away from a couple of tacklers. Now a spin move. There's a flag on the play. Whitty's going to stretch it out to the left-hand side and end up at the Beloit 40-yard line, but a flag in the middle of the field back near the opposite 40-yard line where Whitty picked that football up.
Yeah, you're either going to have probably a hold or a block in the back. There was just a conglomeration of people right there, and anyone could have got it.
We are going to see wholesale changes now out on the field. Gannon Jacobson takes his safety gloves off. He looks to be going in at quarterback. Grady Gebhardt, who had 2 rushing touchdowns last week for Rock Creek, hasn't carried the football tonight yet. We saw him at wide receiver earlier on, but he'll step in at tailback.
So that call, they didn't get a holding or a block in the back. They called it an illegal blindside block on that. So going offhand away from Whitty, somebody picking up probably a very good block is what it's going to look like, but just the safety aspect of the game, you can't come blindside anybody anymore.
Malachi Hopkins will also be out here for Southeast of Saline. Also, Caden Berrigan, a sophomore. Pitch out, Jacobson goes to Gebhardt. Grady out on the right-hand side, his first rush of the night. Ends up being a 2-yard gain on the stretch play to the right-hand side. Grady was pretty good last week, wasn't he, for his first official game starting in varsity. Had a couple of really nice tackles, helping out that Southeast defense, and then 2 touchdowns, ran over a safety for Rock Creek. 2nd down and 8 at the 32. Here's Gebhardt again, little delay play from Jacobson on the handoff, and he's going to fight his way out to the 35-yard line. 3rd down and 5 coming up here for the Southeast Trojans.
I thought maybe they would let the play clock in there, and it looks like the coaching staff may not give them a play as we got 18 seconds left in the third quarter.
And we will keep it in the pocket. Go to the end of the third quarter. 52-6 is our score. Back with a running clock. Southeast of Saline leading it big as we go to the fourth quarter. 52-6. Southeast of Saline with the lead here on KINA.
The Southeast of Saline School District has a long-standing reputation for excellence. This excellence in public education has been a source of great pride and one of the factors contributing to the quality of life in our community. The Southeast of Saline Education Foundation works in partnership with the USD 306 School District and the community that it serves to maximize student potential, thereby creating a lasting legacy, not only for our children, but for our community. The Southeast of Saline Education Foundation salutes the Trojan sports program.
It's third down and 8 for the Trojans. They really need to make the right call here.
During the football game, it's crucial to make the right call. And in real estate, one call can bring a positive outcome from your real estate experience. Whether you're looking for real property, upsizing to make room for the family, downsizing, or acquiring investment property, call Winnell Garrettson at SalinaHomes.com.
What a call! Touchdown, Trojan!
Buy or sell, call Winnell.
You are listening to Southeast Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Glad you could join us for Southeast of Saline football, wherever you may be listening and however you may be viewing or listening this game. Of course, live stream video can be found every Friday night at SalinePost.com. Also, you can listen on 910 AM, 107.5 FM, or online at 910KINA.com. So thank you for tuning in, and thank you for listening and watching. Trojan football, Southeast up big. 52-6 as we go to the fourth quarter with a running clock. First, Southeast needs to move the chains. It's third down and 5 from their own 35-yard line. Jacobson wants to pass. He does so out in the flat, and it's a big play for Southeast out across the 50 to the 40. Gannon Jacobson throwing the football out to Bryson Lippold. A couple of sophomores hooking up.
And I think if you're Coach Gebhardt, that's what in this whole coaching staff you want to see from this younger group. Just a great job rolling out of the pocket, finding Lippold. He had a receiver wide open down the middle, but taking the under route, and a great job right there.
23 yards, Gannon Jacobson to Bryson Lippold. First down and 10 now, into Beloit territory at the 42. Jacobson taking the play clock down to 10. Low snap, comes at his ankles. Gannon's going to pick it up and make some lemonade out of lemons here, and a big hit at the 40-yard line as Jacobson got 3 yards on the play, and a big Beloit hit on the quarterback.
Yeah, Jennings Sloan right there came in for a big lick as Jacobson kind of met him. It's what you want to see out of a guy, though. You come in and you're getting some offensive reps. We saw Gannon the whole game at safety, and he didn't shy away and run out of bounds. Just ran into a bigger defender.
3rd and 7, pistol formation. Jacobson has his hands on his hips, turns around and says something to Grady Gebhardt, who's lined up directly behind him. Lippold in the slot, directly behind the offensive line to Jacobson's right. Here comes Canyon Douglas in motion. He'll take the jet sweep to the right, and Beloit all over it there, throwing Douglas for a 3-yard loss.
Yeah, just a kind of a play that didn't really develop at all right there. It was kind of a slow handoff, and the defensive line really won the battle.
3rd down and 11 coming up here for Southeast of Saline as that short loss there pushed him back to the 43-yard line. See what Jacobson can do here. 3 wide receivers to the left-hand side. Has Gebhardt in the backfield with him. Jacobson will roll out. Gannon looking now. Tries the short pass, and it's going to be down at the feet of a Southeast and a Beloit player. Incomplete. And 4th down coming up.
Yeah, pass intended for Bryson Lippold once again, trying to meet up on that short crossing route right there and see what Southeast decides to do right here. I would imagine they will go for it in this 4th and 11.
Clock continues to run. 9:33 left to go here in this fourth quarter. 4th and 11 for Southeast of Saline. And they're going to put the punt unit on here a little late. 10 seconds on the play clock. Looks like they're going to get everybody settled, though, and get ready here for an Evan Watkins punt attempt. Averaged 34 yards a punt last week on 3 attempts. Here's Watkins, and he's going to uncork this one. It's going to take a bounce back to about the 15-yard line and down there by Southeast of Saline. So job well done by the Southeast of Saline punting unit as Evan Watkins gets a good one away here, and it's down to inside the 20 at about the 15. Beloit will have to come out and start there as the change of possession does not stop this running clock. 45-point rule in effect. Reminder, you can listen to the Scoreboard Show every Friday night here on KINA. From 10 until 11 o'clock, here's scores and game wraps from across the state of Kansas, courtesy of the Kansas Information Network. And as always, you'll hear Southeast of Saline game wrap as well. It's 10 until 11 o'clock every Friday night. Scoreboard Show brought to you by Home Automotive Centers in Abilene and Salina Surgical Hospital. Run to the left for Beloit. Brody Schroeder on that play. He'll get about 4 yards on first down.
Well, it looks like we got an offensive lineman down on the field for Beloit.
Do have a Beloit player down. And an injury timeout will stop the clock here, but now he is up and wanting to walk off the field. He'll do so, walking off with one of his coaches.
See if we can catch when Southeast comes back out. It looks like they made some more changes and brought in some more of these younger guys to get them some playing time.
Lippold out there on defense as he goes from one side of the ball to the other. Also Drew Weller out there on defense. Wyatt Boyd staying out there. Gannon Jacobson staying out. Also Amarian Hollub will be out there. Killian Vaughn out there as well. Beloit running it on a bounce out to the left-hand side, and Schroeder with some space comes out across the 40-yard line. We'll see where they spotted him stepping out of bounds. A nice little bounce-out play there by Beloit in the running game.
Yeah, and he's still down on the sideline over there right underneath the bench. Took a big shot from Gannon Jacobson coming over from his safety position.
Made it all the way to the 42. 27-yard carry. It's the longest one of the night by Schroeder, but as you said, Russ, he is still down. 67 yards on 9 carries unofficially for Brody Schroeder. Football sitting at the 42, and that injury has not stopped the clock as he is out of bounds. He's way over by the Beloit bench. Back to the line of scrimmage here. Another carry to the left-hand side as Beloit. Boy, they love to run left, don't they? Joel Rexrod on that carry gets about 8 yards.
Yeah, and it's not just now. You're right. I didn't even think about it, but they have been real heavy on that left-hand side of the ball.
That's where they scored their touchdown early on in this contest, way back in the first quarter. Ellsworth and Republic County has gone final. The Bearcats go to 2-0 on the season. They beat Republic County 62-6. Another run up the center of the field for the Beloit Trojans. They'll get a first down, as this time going inside of the 45-yard line is Ashton Bletcher. Gain of 6 on the play.
And I'm sure the coaching staff and everybody on the sideline still wanting to keep that goose egg and not let Beloit score right here to see if Southeast in this second string can come up with a stop.
52-6, 6:35 left to go with a running clock. Back to pass. Here is a successful pass from Jackson Weston. He comes out to the right-hand side, and then taken down to the 36-yard line is Jennings Sloan.
Yeah, and everybody else covered up. This unit did a very good job covering that pass. Just had one guy leak out kind of late right there.
First pass attempt of the night, and a successful one of 6 yards. Second down and 4 now. Football at the 37-yard line. Boy, a little mixed up in the backfield there, but Jackson Weston comes out of it and then chased down from behind by Kenyon Douglas at the 30-yard line after a gain of 7.
And how about the closing speed right there at Kenyon Douglas? It looks like he had could have went for 10, 15 more yards and then just rolls him down right at the end. Great job right there.
So Jackson Weston, 11 yards on 4 carries. Took that football just inside of the 30 to the 29. Time rolling still, 5:22 left to go here in this one. Weston wants to pass again. Throws it over the top of a receiver that was in the middle of a 4 Southeast of Saline defensive back scrum, and Mitch Gebhardt an opportunity to coach up his kids. Incomplete pass brings up 2nd down and 10. Football still sitting at the 29-yard line. Beloit not in a hurry to do much here. They haven't been all night long, as they will take most of the time off the play clock. Meanwhile, the game clock continues to roll. Here's Weston. Little inside handoff this time to Sloan. Actually, excuse me, that's going to be Bletcher. And Bletcher's going to take it inside of the 25-yard line on a gain of 6. We'll remind you, Kansas Wesleyan football coming up here tomorrow. They go to Winfield to take on Southwestern. Tyler Henry with the call of the Coyotes. Starting at 7:30 with a pregame at 6:30. A full hour of Coyote football pregame, getting you ready for that one. As Kansas Wesleyan, a big win over Bethany last week. They moved to 1-1 on the season after stumbling on the road. And they will try to make it 2-1 tomorrow in Winfield. There's the give to the left-hand side. And a nice little cutback, nearly breaking free, was Joel Rexroad on his longest carry of the night.
Yeah, the little misdirection right there kind of had everybody fooled. Thought he had him coming up the middle, and they went around to the other side. So just see if Southeast right here now, inside of the 10-yard line, can come up with a stand.
Looks like the ball's at the 5. That was a 24-yard gain by Rexroth that time. 3:25 left to go here in this one. Stick with us after the game. We'll take a check of final stats. We'll also have a conversation with Mitch Gebhardt on what appears to be a successful night for the Southeast of Saline Trojans. Loss of 2 on this play for Ashton Bletcher. Just didn't have any space there on his 12th carry of the night.
Yeah, Drew Weller did a great job right there of not going for the misdirection, stayed with it, got off his block, and made the tackle.
So that'll put the football back to the 7 for Beloit as we move inside 3 minutes left to go. A couple of bombs in this game qualify for the Everhart Precision Ag Pass of the game as Danny Kerr and Tucker Thaxton continue to shine in the passing game for Southeast of Saline. Here's a couple of fakes in the backfield, and now the quarterback, Jackson Weston, sprinting out there and taking it to almost the 5-yard line.
Yeah, they're going to spot this ball right at the 5.
Okay, thank you. Tough to see down there sometimes.
It's real easy to see.
Thank you, sir. 3rd down and goal from the 5 for the Beloit Trojans. This is a Trojan team from Beloit. Remember, they started 0-2 last year before they won 8 games in a row. 3rd and goal here from the 5, and quarterback losing yardage here of about 4 after he stumbled coming out of there.
Yeah, it looked like one of the up running backs was coming through the hole to block, and they kind of just got their feet tangled up and almost got stepped on.
So the ball now placed back to the 9-yard line. To put the cap on that story about Beloit last year, they actually went all the way into the playoffs and had a deep run. They lost to Kingman before Kingman and Southeast of Saline hooked up. So think about that. If Beloit could have knocked off Kingman, we would have had in the Final Four Southeast of Saline and Beloit's rematch. Here's the give, trying to stretch it out left-hand side. Beloit looking for the pylon on 4th and goal, and they cannot get there. And Southeast of Saline will hold them out. What a stand by the young Trojans out there on defense, holding Beloit out of the end zone. And Southeast of Saline will take over on downs with a minute left to play.
And it looks like they're going to spot this ball far enough out at about the 2.5-2-yard line here. So don't want to, if you want to run a play here, you got to make sure you go forward with it.
It's interesting looking back at the schedules from last year and just kind of reminiscing. Kingman on their way to the state title game had to go through 3 NCAA schools. They went through Ellsworth, Beloit, and Southeast of Saline on their way to the title game, where they eventually lost to Nemaha Central. Here is Southeast of Saline surging ahead just a little bit and taking a knee, and that should do it for this game. Still 30 seconds left on the clock, but the clock is running down, and we have a final. 52-6, our score. Southeast of Saline winning at home, and for the 14th time in 14 seasons, Mitch Gebhardt and this coaching staff winning their home opener for Southeast of Saline. And they do so in big style tonight with a big 52-6 victory over the Beloit Trojans. Southeast of Saline will move to 2-0 on the season. Beloit goes to 0-2 on the season, and postgame is next as we have a conversation with head coach Mitch Gebhardt. We'll go over our Everhart Precision Ag pass of the game and also our Smart Insurance, Smart Play of the game. It's all coming up next on postgame. Brought to you by Commercial Tire Centers. It is next after a big 52-6 victory. Southeast of Saline wins it over Beloit, and you heard right here on KINA.